Well, good afternoon, all. We hope that you had a great break, and welcome back to our 360-degree health explosion 2020 here at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. We're excited that you had an opportunity to take a break and hope that you've been partaking. Let me let you know that if you weren't on Friday night and if you weren't on this morning, you missed it. But that's okay. We've got a great and fantastic lineup for you going forward. Many more good sessions. I do want to take this opportunity to let you know that if you're just joining us this afternoon, that you want to go ahead and participate with our very first session, which is going to be a chair exercise. So grab your chair so that you can hear and see. Grab a couple of bottles of water or a couple of cans of food and a couple of cans of some small dumbbells for exercising, but that's what we're going to start off with. But let me set the stage for this afternoon. Again, we're starting off and we're going to have a chair exercise. And Natasha Frisk, who is also a holistic naturalist health person, is going to give us some tips and a recipe and actually do a live cooking demonstration of a great sandwich. Then we're going to move in and we're going to talk about some more mental health, emotional health issues. We're going to have a couple of school officials. We're going to continue with that theme that we were working on when Dr. Easterling was wrapping us up this session this afternoon. And then finally, later on today, we're going to talk about some dental health. You're going to see some exercises. You're going to get an opportunity really to enjoy a little bit of comedy. And then we're going to wrap up somewhere around 4:30 before we take our afternoon break. So at this time, let us just invite you to tell your friends, tell your family. We really believe that just as things are changing around the world, that we are making a difference by making a change in your health posture, mind, body, and soul. And really what we're focused on doing today is being able to give you some additional information, some food for thought. So stand by, and here you come with your chair exercise. Hopefully you got your chairs and your weights, and take it away.
Hello and welcome to your chair workout. I am so happy that you found me and thank you for joining. Alright, so this is a great way if you are sedentary, if you have a limited range of motion. This is a great way to exercise from a chair to bring about new range of motion. And if you have a job where it constantly has you to sit, these are some things that you can do in the office, at home. With, of course, if you have limitations and you need doctor's assistance or anything, please know your limitations before doing any of my exercises. These are not prescribed by anything. I'm not a doctor. I am just a certified personal trainer, and I put together some great workouts for chair purposes. This is great for all fitness levels, and it's motivated more for more flexibility and giving you a better functional range of motion. Alright, so first things first, we're going to warm up, and the first thing we'll do is neck rotations. So you want to take your neck and go towards the left side. So we want to inhale deep, and we're going to go to the right first, and exhale out. Breathe in, and bring it back. We'll do that each side. Inhale, now we exhale to the left. Breathe in, and bring it back. Breathe in. Take it right. Breathe in. Bring it center. Breathe in. Take it left. Breathe in. Bring it center. Breathe in. Take it right. Inhale. Exhale center. Inhale. Exhale left. Inhale. Exhale center. Alright, shoulder circles. We're going to do this 5 times through big shoulder circles, taking it back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to rotate, bringing it forward. Bring it up to the ears and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do our rows. So you want to sit a little bit forward. What you're going to do is extend your arms forward, make a fist, and what you're going to do is you're going to drive your elbows back. So inhale, exhale, drive it back. We're going to do this 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, give me one more, and 1. Perfect. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our arm circles, excuse me. So arm circles, just easy. Just arm circles, just like that. And repeat to the other side. This is just opening up your rotator cuff, open up that upper back. Get a little bit of cardio in. Alright, so we're all stretched from the upper. So the next thing we're going to do is a easy flow, a sun salutation A. So again, you want to be right at the edge of your chair, have your feet underneath your hip, okay? We're going to bring our arms up, and then we're going to exhale, bring them down. Nice flow. Inhale up, take your gaze with you if you can. This opens up your neck, palms together, exhale down. Inhale up, reach, palms together, exhale down. Drive the force down. Inhale up, palms together, exhale down. Take it one more time. Inhale up, palms together, exhale down. All right, so what we're going to do is add a forward fold. So I want you to bring your arms up with deep inhale. Bring your hands down to your thighs, exhale out. Now we're going to round. So you're going to round, bring your head down in between your legs and round up. We're going to do that again. We're going to inhale down and round up. 3 more times. Inhale down and round up. Yes, we are at a homestead, which is a farmstead. Inhale down and round up. Take it one more time, please. Inhale down and round up. All right, let's put this all together. So we inhale, sweep our arms. Inhale, palms together. Exhale down. Palms to your thighs. Round forward. Inhale and exhale up. Let's repeat. Inhale, sweep. Palms, exhale. Thighs, round, and all right, so we're all warmed up and ready to go, all stretched out. So first thing we're going to do is our leg raises. So we're going to start with our left leg. So you can either keep your hands on the arms of your chair, on the seat of your chair, or you can keep it on the leg we're going to lift, okay? So we're going to do this 8 times. So we go 8, extend, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing on the other side. Sit nice and tall. Try to keep your core intact. Inhale. Exhale, we lift on the right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to repeat. So what we're doing is we're working our quadricep muscle right here, okay? Inhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So now we're going to go right into our toe raises. Alright, so we're going to go to toes. Skip the part, sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring your toes, you're going to lift your toes up, so heels rise, and then you bring it down. So we got 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now this time we're going to do heel raises. So what we're going to do, or excuse me, toe raises. So we did heel raises where we lift through our heels. So now we're going to do toe raises. So your heels stay on the ground, toes lift up. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's march in place, get our heart rate up. Use your arms. Here we go for 20 seconds. We're marching in place. Picking our fists up, bigger range of motion, excellent. Or you can stay right here, okay? We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Perfect. All right, back to our lower body because we jumped ahead. So we're gonna do our, excuse me. So we're gonna go into knee raises now. All right, so again, we're gonna start on the left side. So when we did our leg extension, we lifted forward. This time we're gonna do knees. So we're just gonna bring it up and down, that's it. This is gonna work that core and pelvis right there. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So drive the knee up 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the left side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to your right side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So grab your band or a towel. We're going to go into hip adduction. So we're going to take it away. So what I want you to do is take your band or a towel. You're going to wrap it around. Have the handles in your lap. And what we're going to do is we're going to start on the left side. So you can hold the handles if you would like, singly, or you can hold them together. That's what I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend out. So I'm going to bring it out and then back in. So it's a tap. So we're going to take it out with an inhale, bring it back with an exhale. 8 times. So we got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing to the right side. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it back to your left side. Inhale, exhale. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, perfect. Take it back to your right side. Inhale, exhale. Open and close. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so instead of doing single, we're going to do it together. So keep your band as it is. Again, you can hold them singly or you can hold it together. We're just going to do it open and close. So we're going to open and close. Inhale, exhale, in and out. 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Give you a 10-second rest, okay? How are we doing? Doing good? Hope you're still with me. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then open and close. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, remove the band from your legs. We're going to keep the band though, okay? The next exercise is we're going to do upper body. We've done our lower body. We've worked our large muscles, our legs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our chest fly, biceps curl, and low row. So your chest fly, I want you to take your band, wrap it around. We're going to start on the right side this time. So wrap it around your left hand, all the way around. Okay? And what you're going to do, this is your anchor. So you want to have a little bit of slack, okay? You want to have some resistance. What you're going to do is you're going to take that left hand, put it in the center of your chest. You're going to hold the band to your right. You're going to stretch it out to your right side. You're going to go 8, like a bow and arrow. 7. See, if you want a little bit more resistance, wrap it up again, okay? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest for 10 seconds because we're going to go right back to the right side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5. Make it bigger. 4, 3, 2. Give me one more. 1. Perfect. So unwrap the left. Now what are we going to do? We're going to wrap the right. Got to make it even. We do both sides around this part, okay? All right. So anchor. So the left hand or the right hand's in the anchor. And we pull as we extend. All right. 8, 7, 6. You can do it overhand grip. 5 or under. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And a 10-second rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8. Extend. 7. Make it nice and big. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So we're going to unwrap. Did your 2 sets. Now we're going to do bicep curls. So take the band, put it in between your feet at the bottom. So we have that center crease in our shoes. I want it to be right there. Loop it there. We're going to do bicep curls. So we're going to do a neutral grip. So that means that it's going to be facing you, okay? So fingertips and wrists face you. You're sitting nice and tall. You're going to curl it into your shoulder. We got 8. Inhale. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Give me one more. 1. Perfect. Rest for 10 seconds. We got that set one more time. We do 2 sets of each exercise, and we're doing 8 repetitions. Simple and easy, but still functional. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. All right, so the next exercise we're going to do is you're actually going to take the band and you're going to sit on it. So it's going to be right underneath your bum. You're going to take the bands and you're going to shoulder press it up, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to press forward. We're going to do single though. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, drop that. We're going to go to the right side, all right? So it's facing away, behind, inhale, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Give me one more for 1. Perfect. We're going to go back to that left side. Inhale, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, last time for your right, for your shoulder press. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Give me one more. All right, done. Take the band, bring it back underneath your feet. What you're gonna do is you're gonna extend it behind. So I'm gonna sink right here, and I'm gonna pull it right behind me in a row. All right, we're gonna do that together. Just together, right there, exactly. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's do single. Let's do our left side first. So you just extend it behind you. Nice and tall. Here we go. 8. Just roll back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right side. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. This is our last exercise and we're going to stretch it out. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. We no longer need our band. We're going to go right back to our sun salutation A to stretch. We're going to stretch out our arms. Take a nice inhale up, palms together, exhale out. One more time, please. Inhale, sweep, palms together, exhale out. Hands to your thighs, round forward, and roll it up. Inhale down, exhale up. Put it together 2 times through. Inhale, sweep, palms together, exhale, round, and release. Last one. Inhale, sweep, exhale, palms together, hands to thighs, round, and release. Bring that arm across, rotate that wrist, stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open that up, bring it to the other side. Rotate, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest open and release. Take your time, cross over. You can hold either the bottom of the seat or the armrest. You're going to over that shoulder, inhale. Exhale, turn it back. Take it to the other side. Hand to the arm or underneath. Inhale, turn over that shoulder. Exhale out. Bring your left over your right, cover your chair stretch, and reach forward. This is going to open up your hips, your inner thigh. And release. Take your left leg down, but put the heel down, toe up facing you, and reach. This is a nice hamstring stretch. And release. Take your right over your left. Inhale, exhale, round forward. We're going to uncross again, heel down, toe up, and reach through. Take your time, sit nice and tall. Inhale, sweep. Palms together, exhale out. And thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. The button is somewhere below on the side, I'm not sure. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for finding me. And I hope that you follow and I can guide you down your fitness and wellness journey. And from me to you, stay healthy, stay fit, and smile.
Wow, I don't know about you, but I'm tired just watching that. And oh, by the way, it just goes to show you that even if you're in a chair, you can do things. So, those are great tips to even do when you're at home or if you're at it used to be an office or someplace else, but no matter your age, you're able to capable of doing that. Next up, if you haven't had an opportunity to think about health insurance, we're going to get a few-minute discussion on health insurance. So sit back, grab your notepads, take some notes, and then when we finish the health insurance, we're going to be followed by that same Natasha Frisch. She's going to show us how to do a healthy sandwich because I don't know about you, but I didn't have a really good lunch. It was small, some grapes and some walnuts, but I want something more, so I'm looking forward to it. So if you'll just sit back and be prepared to take some notes as we go into this next segment.
Hi, Mount Pleasant friends and family. I am Paige Holt, and I am representing U.S. Health Advisors, a division of United Healthcare, and I am a licensed agent in the area. We do know that this is a busy time of the year. It is open enrollment for Obamacare, ACA. So please note these dates. It's very important. November 1st through December 15th, with insurance starting on January 1. And if you have a pre-existing condition, you definitely want to visit that website. But there are other options out there. There is the private option, and I represent United Healthcare, and they do have a private market, and they have some options for you if you can health qualify. So if you're feeling healthy, I would love to talk to you. We have a great plan with with low deductibles and zero out-of-pocket copays. So something to think about. We have some great supplements like your life insurance, a 5-year life insurance. We have income protection. We have critical illness, which is more of a death or survival benefit. We also have our regular vision and dental. We also have this other great benefit, which is the association, which is like a FLAC on steroid. So you will get a hospital reimbursement up to $800 per day with a 24-hour waiting period. They have they have so many great benefits. You have scholarship, you have roadside assistance. For small businesses, there are some options for you as well. So what I would do as your local advisor, what I do is I actually will review with you personally and confidential your current insurance plan and try and match you up with something that can help you save some income, help your cash flow with more benefits. I work closely with individuals, families, and small businesses. One of my favorites are young adults getting insurance for the first time. Parents, I know you're happy to hear, go out and fly your wings, kids. So I really enjoy working with the young adults. I do not stop once the insurance starts. That's when I start working with you even more so that you know you have a friend in the business. I am right now live on Facebook, so if you have questions, please feel free to send me a note. I would love to answer any questions either now or later. Once again, my name is Paige Holt. Let's try to figure out a way to stomp out, it is health. Let's stomp out some of this confusement and being overwhelmed with questions. My cell phone number is 703-232-3818. My email address is paige.holt@ushadvisors.com. If that's too much, my personal email is paigeholt@gmail.com. Once again, my phone number is 703-232-3818. Thank you, family, and please give me a call. Hello, family. It's me again, Paige Holt with US Health Advisors, coming back at you. Wanted to just share some resources with you. Wanted to let you know that over 2 million Americans have filed bankrupt from medical bills. So it is very important that we have insurance. I do know that these are tough times out there. I understand that we are unemployed, we've been furloughed, we've lost our insurance. But there are some options out there for you. For instance, Medicaid. If you have no income or very low income, you should go to medicaid.gov and apply for Medicaid, which will give you some insurance coverage. There's also the Obamacare, our ACA, and you should go to www.healthcare.gov. Sometimes it is based on your income. With that, you may qualify for a tax credit based on your income, and they will show you what you will qualify for. So definitely go on to healthcare.gov. Don't forget, open enrollment November 1st through December 15th with the start date of January 1st for health insurance. Of course, don't forget you have me, which is on the private market, which I do have some affordable pricing if you are health qualified. Family, I know it's tough, but you have to be covered. We have some supplemental insurance as well that I can talk to you about. Once again, if you are unemployed and you've been laid off, you're looking for a career change, let me know, because there are lots of opportunity in the insurance business as well. So that's another way of getting some insurance for you and your family. If you have a small business, please reach out to me because I can help you with your business, even if you do not provide insurance to them, or if you do provide insurance, I can be a resource to you. And maybe there's a way that we can help save you some money there and give you more benefits. So once again, please reach out to me. My number is 703-232-3818, 703-232-3818, and I am on Facebook Live right now, so send me a message. Share this with your friends. If you have friends or family looking for insurance, and it doesn't even have to only be in Virginia. I am licensed in 11 states, so just send me a quick note and I'll let you know if I can help them or if I can refer them to someone else. Once again, thank you. Be safe, be healthy.
So we hope that you were able to gain some good information about that. We did get quite a few questions in the comments box, and so we will be giving you responses either in the comment box, or if you leave your contact information in there, we'll be sure to get that information to you so that you can have that, because taking care of your health physically and financially, as well as having the appropriate insurance, is very important. Next, we're going to bring up a brief segment that's going to talk to you about Mount Pleasant Baptist Church Prison Ministry. You know, there are many people that are incarcerated, and they also need care, both for them and their families. And so we want to give you an example of the kinds of things that we do here at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. So sit back and relax. And then, by the way, ladies, get to your kitchens as soon as possible, because we will be following that with a cooking demonstration. Have a great one.
Hello, my name is Shirley Spann, and I'm a member of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in Herndon, Virginia, where we do great work. One of the ways that I serve is that I've been volunteering at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center for about 14 years. Thank God for service. And this is how I serve. I facilitate worship services, I deliver the Word of God, and I pray with the women. It's amazing. It's amazing to see what God is actually doing at the facility. Let me share this with you. As the women were entering one of the Sunday services, one of the women stood out. She looked so sad. To me, it seemed as if she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. My heart sank. However, I went on with the services and I delivered the word. But as I was delivering the word, I noticed that the Holy Spirit had me looking as though I was speaking intently to her, as if God wanted to give that woman a message. So I ended the message and I gave the invitation to Christian discipleship. Several women came forth. She was one of them. Wow. So I led the women in prayer, but as the other women were taking their seats, the Lord had me to look to the woman that I said was sad. I took her hands and I prayed with her. And after praying, she held up her head. My gosh, her face was glowing. It's like God just did a miracle for her, and I got to witness it at that time. Absolutely miraculous. This woman showed me the biggest smile that I'd ever seen. Her whole countenance just changed. The power of the gospel. What hope. How amazing. I think about that testimony over and over, and I just see the amazing work that God does in this facility. So, I invite you, come, be a part of us. Be a part of what God is doing here. That hope that you have, guess what? Other people need to know about it too. God is waiting. God wants you. Come join us. Be a part of the work that God is doing here. You'll be glad you did, especially when you yourself get to witness what I witnessed time after time. Yes, I've served 14 years, and if God would have me, I'll do 14 more, because the work that he does here, it's real, it makes a difference, and I'm glad that he has me a part of it. So I thank you, and I thank the management at this facility for allowing me to serve. And may God bless you.
Hi, my name is Daniel Clark. I've served at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center for about 10 years now. Of those 10 years, I've served as Good News Chaplaincy Support Team Lead for about 5 years. Before that, I served at the Prince George's County Correctional Center in Maryland for about 5 years as well. At my church, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church of Herndon, Virginia, I serve as Prison Ministry Lead. As Prison Ministry Lead, I serve a team of men and women who serve the needs of the incarcerated, the families of those incarcerated, as well as ex-offenders. Inside the jail, we lead Bible studies, Sunday worship services, and perform one-on-one mentoring. We also sponsor formal and specialty biblical training for inmates with such needs. Outside of the jail, we mentor ex-offenders as they adjust to life outside of the jail, where are different challenges and pressures of the world. At Christmas time, we bless the families of the incarcerated by giving clothing and toy gifts to their children. During our worship time at the jail, we take time to share testimonies of how God is working in our lives. On one particular Sunday, I recall a gentleman standing up boldly sharing that at one time in his life, he attempted to commit suicide, not once, not twice, but 3 times. He said whichever method of suicide he attempted, all attempts failed. After being arrested, he landed himself in Fairfax jail, still looking for answers. And now he stood up tall, shoulders back, head held high, with a big smile on his face, and he said, "Since I found Jesus in this jail, I want to live more than ever. I now have a reason to live." That's why I serve in this ministry. God has charged us Christians to go behind prison walls when he said in Matthew 25, "I was in prison and you came to visit me." When did we go to visit you in prison? Truly I tell you, whatever you've done for the least of these, of my brothers and sisters, you have done for me. But what fuels me to go time and time again, even when my body doesn't feel like going to the jail, is to witness the transformation of men by the word of God. To see their eyes get big and the light bulb turn on in their heads, knowing that they have found the answer in Christ Jesus that they've been looking for all along. To God be all the glory.
Okay. Thank you all for waiting. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. No
All right.
worries at all. We're just so appreciative that you're going to be with us. Welcome again, family. We just wanted to share some information about what we're here doing as a church. We thought that is important. Now we're getting ready to go into another live cooking session with Natasha Frisk. She is going to really give us a great menu and a great process. So if you're not able to do the cooking with her, definitely take some notes and jot down. So Natasha, welcome back. Hope you had a good break. I know it's been a hustle and bustle. You're there with your family. I do want to say though, I loved your chair exercises. They were great. That chair aerobics was fantastic.
So thank you. I'm glad that you love that. I do teach a chair aerobics class Friday mornings and Monday mornings also, and I can send you that information as well. And I do that. It's a 30-minute class, and it's 8 a.m. And it's for 60 and plus. So I will send that information as well.
Great. Much appreciated. So go ahead and delight us yet once again with another cooking lesson.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome back, everybody. Again, I thank you. I appreciate your patience. So this is going to be our snack and lunch area right now. So it's a good thing too, because the snack that we're going to make is going to be a peanut butter banana oat smoothie. Now, this could be a superfood smoothie, meaning you can have this for breakfast or for lunch, because it has the peanut butter, which is going to be your healthy fat again. It has the banana, which is a great fruit source for potassium, for vitamin A as well. And then with the oats, that's going to be a whole grain. And those three things are some of the essential things you need in order to keep supplying your body with great fuel and great energy. Now, there's been a lot of talk with starchy foods and carbohydrates, and I want to end that right now. We as humans, we have survived on thousands and thousands of years on starches, on carbohydrates. Now, I'm not talking about processed carbohydrates. I'm not talking about refined, as in your cookies, your cakes, your breads, those things that are pre-packed, those things that are packaged. We don't survive well on those. We survive on whole food carbohydrates, your apples, your bananas, your pumpkins, your spinach, everything in its whole form. And that's what that means. It means it's whole form, and it can be minimally processed. Now, some things that are minimally processed would be instant oats, for one. So whole grain oats hasn't been cut. If you have the prepackaged box, say Quaker oatmeal, the instant oatmeal, that's been cut, that's been processed. It's taken out its main ingredient, that whole grain, and that's what we survive on, because our body we need the glucose, we need the sugar, and we find those things in its natural state, its natural form, and fruits and vegetables. And think of starchy things as potatoes, think of starchy things as eggplants, yams, sweet potatoes, butternut squash. Those things, those are what we need. We need the sugar from those things to help us survive. We need the nutrients from those things to help us survive. Now, this smoothie is going to do that as well. No, one moment. Hey, Anna, yes. All right, my dog right now. We got it. Okay, so smile and Trojan. But for this peanut butter oat smoothie, again, if you haven't received the recipes, please email or send a message. We can send this out to you. Let's talk about the ingredients. So it's going to be half a cup of oats. It could be Quaker traditional, and it's also going to be a 1/4 cup of your peanut butter, 2 bananas, and unsweetened almond milk. Now, this is for 2 servings. So we're actually going to cut that again. We're going to use 1/4 cup of oats. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and then 1 banana, and half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. Now, you don't have to use almond milk. You can try different plant-based milk, or you can just do regular milk. Excuse me. But the part about this is that it's a super smoothie is because it has the oats, and oats will satisfy you. Oats will fill you up. It has the peanut butter. It's going to give you that energy. It's going to give you that jolt. It's going to give you that healthy fat. It has the banana. It's great. This is a great smoothie for before work exercise, and this is another great smoothie for after exercise. And a trick for your bananas, instead of adding ice to your smoothies, you can freeze your bananas. Like, we buy at least 3 bunches of bananas weekly. So we go about 3 pounds. I freeze a pound, and then you can have frozen banana as a little quick snack. You can put it into your smoothies. It helps to thicken it. It's a great thickening fruit as well. And you can even make peanut butter banana ice cream and just skip the oats. And this smoothie is something that you can build ahead of time. You can blend it, and you can put it in the refrigerator for the next day. And then also, other options to add in more good omegas and more fiber is flaxseed. Flaxseed is something that's great. I'm pretty sure you hear all the time flaxseed, hemp as well, and chia seeds. We need these things. These are other micronutrients, as in plants, that help sustain and give us enzymes that break down things, that helps us supply our natural detoxification. We don't need to take pills. We don't need to drink syrups or anything like that for detoxification. You see all these things that have been mass marketed to tell us that our body naturally detoxifies with the foods that we nourish our bodies with plenty, when we drink plenty of water, when we do plenty of exercise, we sweat all that out when we go out into the sun. But we naturally detoxify our bodies through eating micronutrients, which are your fats, your carbohydrates, your proteins, and then macronutrient or micronutrients to your plants. And that's what this is about. So enough talk. Let's get to making it. So we're going to start with the peanut butter banana oat smoothie. And please feel free to reach out and ask any questions. All right, so we're going to start with, let me bring you over as we build this smoothie. All right, so I have my blender here. All right, so we're going to take the blender. So we're going to take our blender and we're going to take, I have, like I said, I freeze bananas. So I'm going to take one frozen banana, break that in half. This is a great thing if you're on the go. So if you have hustle and bustle, you have to work, I suggest having this breakfast smoothie, okay? It'll keep you focused, it'll keep you energized. Have it with your coffee if you're a coffee drinker. It'll sustain you for a couple of hours, and then it'll let you, and then your body will let you know when you're hungry again. So we're gonna build this. So we have our banana, and then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Okay. So let's talk about protein. So peanuts, peanut butter, healthy fat, yeah, also protein. Now another good protein that can be added to this is hemp seeds. That's another plant-based protein. Another protein, you can do protein powder, plant-based protein powder as well. All right, so we have our bananas, we have our peanut butter. Now we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of oats because we're making one smoothie. And I'm using the old-fashioned whole grain oats. And when you look at the labels of things, it'll say on the ingredients, you want that first thing, that first ingredient. If something says whole grain, especially when it comes to bread, especially when it comes to any type of baking object or baking food that says whole grain this, make sure the first ingredient when you go to that label is whole grains. Because again, mass marketing, they like to play around with us. They like to tell us these things, but it's not really there. All right, so 1 frozen banana. This is the serving size for one. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, your choice. And then also a 1/4 cup of oats. And now we're gonna add in the almond milk. Okay, and I'm gonna use 3/4 cup of almond milk. Now, if you want your smoothie to be more cold, I suggest adding in a little bit of ice, and that'll make it more cold. But if you freeze the banana, that'll make it cold as well. All right, so give me a moment here because it's gonna get a little loud. I'm going to mute this. All right, so I went ahead and added another 1/4 cup because if you want your smoothie thick, stick to the 3/4 cup. If you want it to get out of your, to pour into your cup, then go ahead and use a cup of almond milk or whatever milk you like. All right, so let's go ahead and pour the smoothie. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Much better. All right, so this is your peanut butter oat breakfast smoothie. Now, if you don't like peanut butter, if you have a nut allergy, I suggest to try sun butter, or that's another alternative. Or even skip the peanut butter and you can do hemp seed, you can do the plant-based protein powder. One protein powder I do suggest And I suggest using this protein powder here. I'll type it in. I believe you can pick this up from Walmart or Target or Rite Aid and stuff like that. It's plant-based, and there's going to be certain things too when you look for proteins. It's going to be either a pea protein or a rice protein or a hemp protein. Whatever the main ingredient is, it will be up top. Now this is a pea protein, and it breaks down really well in your digestive system. It's very light. When you do plant-based protein powders, they shouldn't have added sugar. If they have stevia, that's okay, because that's a plant sugar. It's not a fructose. It's not a man-made chemically sugar. Other things you want to look for too is they have different flavors: chocolate, vanilla. Be careful if they say added, because we don't want anything messing with the chemical. We don't want any chemical, so watch for the word added. So give me a moment. We're going to move on to the white bean, spinach, and tomato salad. So I'm going to mute you for a moment and get ready to make that. Okay, so let's recap a little bit. So we just made a peanut butter banana oat smoothie, which is a super food smoothie because you can have this for breakfast. You can have this for a snack, as we just had. Like if you feel like you're crashing, you need an afternoon pick-me-up, don't go for the coffee, make this. Eat something. Then this could also be a great smoothie for pre-workout. You want to have this about 30 to 45 minutes before, because it has the oats. The oats will help you retain energy, but oats also can slow your metabolism down. And if you're doing any strength training, you don't want to have this. You want to have this if you're walking or if you're running. And another thing is this is great for post-workout as well, because the bananas help provide energy, and they help you to suppress any soreness you may have if you do a walking or whatever exercise. Bananas will help encourage your body to not get sore. So that was just for one, and now we're gonna do, and this is, if you're into counting calories, which I should suggest you don't, I suggest you just eat until you're satisfied, not until you're full where you feel like your pants are gonna pop off. Eat until you're satisfied. Take a moment. If you're still hungry, go back. But this smoothie is high in calcium, which we all need for our bones. This is strong with vitamin C and also phosphorus, which is great for bones, and magnesium, which is also great for our digestive tract and for also our muscles repairing themselves. And so we're going to go ahead and go on to your white bean and spinach tomato salad. Now, this salad can be played around with. It's wonderful. We're going to make 2 servings because we can take the extra serving and you can do lots of things with it. It can be your main meal, or it could be a side dish and you can pair it with a chicken, some salmon, maybe even a steak if that's your choice. This can be prepped ahead of time for the week, for your week lunch meals, or you can have this and make it into a soup as well, adding broth to it. You can play around with this recipe as many ways and be creative as you want to. Again, spinach is the highlight. We've been doing a lot of things with spinach because spinach provides us the zinc. It provides us the iron, that vitamin K, and also E. It's a great green to have. Greens are wonderful to have in your diet. So try to have greens with everything you can. If you make eggs, put some spinach in your eggs, put some broccoli in your eggs. We're gonna wilt this spinach down. You can make it fresh. You can even let this salad cool, and then you can put it on a bed of spinach. And we're gonna use white beans. Now, I'm using today cannellini beans, a white Italian kidney bean, because the bean is gonna act as our protein, because beans are protein. It's a plant-based protein. So this meal will be 100% plant-based. There's no egg, there's no dairy, so it is not a whole food. This is considered on the vegetarian. And this is a nice hearty meal that will have you feeling satisfied, but it'll also help give you the nutrients that you need as well.
and support your nervous system as well as your immune system. And so we're going to get started with that. So first, the ingredients we're using is extra virgin olive oil. You need a tablespoon of that. We're also going to use a shallot if you have it on hand, or a diced onion, 1/4 cup of that. We're going to use 2 cloves of minced garlic, 2 cups of white bean of your choice, navy bean, cannellini bean. You can also use chickpeas if you like, or lentils. We're also going to do baby spinach, 4 cups, and 1 tomato medium, and then sea salt and black pepper to finalize the taste. All right, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm using the cannellini beans. So I'm going to go ahead and give those a wash off. Whenever you have shop for cans, make sure 2 things you're looking for. You want it to have the thing, it has to say on here, no BPA, and that is a poisonous plastic that has been preserved in cans, and it was supposed to stop back in 1942. Unfortunately, our government took their time because they go in their ways with our nutrition for some reason, but they took their time. The bill passed in 1942 for them to remove and to stop using cans lined with BPA, a poisonous plastic. The last person that came in and who labeled everything and made the label everything, we know who did that. That was 8 years ago. So make sure that when you get your cans, it says no BPA, and it also says either no sodium or reduced sodium. Cans are good, but you have to remember that you do have to preserve what's already cooked, and you preserve it with salt. So I would say, try to go as fresh as you can. Option we do here at my home, a lot of dry beans. We've been moving from canned to dry beans. Yes, it's going to take a little bit longer to cook, but you're in control of the sodium intake. You're in control of the salt. You're in control of the spice. When you buy prepackaged things, you're not in control of the spices and all the preservatives they use. When you cook at home, it's fresh and you're in control. And that's what this is about. This is about taking more control of what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming. So whenever you use beans in cans, even if they say reduced sodium or no sodium, still rinse them off. So let me go rinse these off.
So I'm sure that you've been enjoying the opportunity to hear her prepare that wonderful meal and those vendors. I know she had to step away briefly. Natasha, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was just rinsing off the beans. All right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab your olive oil, and you want to do 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And let that heat up. And while that's heating up, you're going to take your tomato, and we're going to go ahead and cut up our tomato. And you're going to cut up, if you have cut up that shallot or that onion. I'm going to go ahead and cut up our onion. And then when you use your garlic too, go ahead and get the big jar of garlic. Why not? Fresh garlic is great. That's fresh garlic. There's nothing wrong with it. We get a big jar monthly. Garlic is another great vegetable that helps your body to detoxify. And we use garlic for everything. And garlic is also a preventative to help mosquitoes stop biting you. Or where we live, I live very rural in Fauquier County, it helps prevent ticks from biting us. So garlic is your friend. Garlic is heart health. And this meal is very, very heart health. Beans are very, very heart health. spinach, tomatoes, very, very heart health. So eat your beans, as many as you can. We want to try to go for at least 2 cups of beans a day. And you can do it so easily. You can put beans with everything. They can start as a side dish. Beans and tomatoes. Who doesn't like beans and tomatoes? Get creative. Use different beans. We've tried. I never liked black eyed peas until I tried them, and I made a black eyed pea salad that I do every New Year's Eve now, and we celebrate with that black eyed bean salsa dip. It's wonderful, and we do that every year. All right, so the garlic's gonna warm up. So the olive oil is warming up. Cut up the onion. Now we're gonna, or the shallot. Now we're going to dice up the tomato. So I'm just using a thick plum tomato. You can use a garden tomato, a house tomato, Better Boy, whatever tomato you like, whatever preference. You can also go ahead and get the baby tomatoes if that's something you like as well. But you know your preference, just tomato. So we're just gonna dice those up. And you just want to get 1 medium tomato. So similar to what we made last night. All right, and then make sure you have your 4 cups of spinach. So this whole meal is going to make 2 servings, and it only takes 10 minutes. And this is a great meal that you can plan ahead and have for the week, for work, for lunch. It's something you can just reach in and grab. That's what these meals are also working for. They're easy meals for you to put together, for you to meal prep and plan and pull out and have something to go. Now, let's retrace back to the smoothie. Now, a little simple tip you can do for smoothies is take your plastic bags, have 1 banana, add some spinach, and add some blueberries. Put that in the freezer. Pull it out when you want to make your smoothie, and it's good to go. The only thing you have to add in there is your water or your plant-based milk. Other things you can add into your smoothies is ground flaxseed, your chia seed, your hemp protein seed. You can even add, for the banana, add a little bit of cinnamon. Why not? Antioxidants. We need those. You can sprinkle that on there too. All right, so this is all heated up. So we are going to heat the olive oil, check. We're going to add the onion, and we're going to add the garlic and let that cook for just 2 minutes. So when you have this big jar of garlic, and it calls for, I believe this recipe calls for 2 garlic cloves minced, that's going to be 2 tablespoons. All right. So we're going to take our onion, put that in. And then we're going to take our 2 tablespoons. So another little tip is 4 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. All right. We got a nice stir. Oh, I wish you guys could be here in this kitchen with me. It smells amazing. And we're just gonna keep stirring that around. And you want it to not to get translucent, because remember, garlic, it does cook very fast. And so we don't need to cook this very fast. Give it that 2 minutes. All right. So after we do that, the next step is gonna be, we're gonna add the beans, add the spinach, and the tomato. We're going to stir it all around until the spinach is wilted. So we're going to cook it for about 5 minutes, and then we can season it with salt and pepper. And then that's that. All right, so let's give this another stir. And I love this meal because this is a 1-pot meal. We don't need a whole bunch of pots and pans to cook this meal. And pretty much all the recipes that were given are all 1-pot meals. We don't need to have a whole bunch of pots. And all the recipes that we're cooking are fresh ingredients that are in season as well. All right, so let's go ahead and add in, we're gonna add the beans. You're gonna add your cut up medium tomato. Give it a nice stir. And then we're gonna add in our 4 cups of spinach. And you wanna use fresh spinach for this. Now you can go ahead and use frozen spinach, but I suggest if you're gonna use frozen spinach to use the whole bag, number 1, because you need 4 cups. So you might need about a bag and a half. Number 2, let it thaw out. Because remember, when they freeze things, they freeze it to harvest. And remember, it has all that water. So you don't want this to be a soupy mess. All right, so we added in the beans, the tomatoes, and now the spinach to the onion and garlic. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to let this cook for about 5 to 6 minutes or until the spinach is wilted. So you just keep tossing and turning it around. And this is something that you can definitely put the top on, and it'll do that as well. We've got a little spinach trying to jump out. And then another bonus is if you don't want to add salt and pepper and you want to add a little kick to it, add some lemon juice. Why not? Give it a nice little citrusy taste. And again, this is a perfect base, a perfect beginning for a stew. Now, what are some other proteins that we can add to this? Definitely add some sliced chicken breast to this. Or we can serve this cold and add grilled chicken breast. Definitely, you can add your ground turkey to this. You can, and if you don't have a fresh tomato, you can also use canned tomatoes as well. Just make sure you use the ones that don't have any salt added. And that's it. So this can be served fresh with fresh ingredients. This can be served, when I say fresh, I mean like hand-picked ingredients with the tomato and spinach we did. But this can also be made with frozen spinach. This can also be made with canned tomatoes. There's nothing wrong with those. Just make sure that you get the cans that say no BPA lining, and also that say either no salt or reduced sodium. All right, I'm going to show you the finished product too, once it's all done. So we're just going to keep stirring this around until we're mixing it up. The spinach comes to a wilt. And then another thing too is if you're not a fan of the navy beans, you're not a fan of the white kidney bean, the cannellini bean, you can also use lentils, green lentils, red lentils. You can use garbanzo beans, which are also chickpeas. And that's going to be the dinner meal that we're making tonight. So we are going to be making a chickpea stir fry. So if you haven't had chickpea, this is going to be an interesting way for you to be introduced to the chickpea train. All right, so that is done. It is all wilted, it is all cooked. Let me show you what that looks like right here. And that is your spinach and tomato cannellini. Hey, and we'll cover that up. Go ahead and give that a little taste. If I do, I do. I don't mind if I do. Give it a little taste. Another little thing too is if you're into, you could easily add some Italian spices. You can make a nice little quick salad dressing, olive oil, lemon juice, a little bit of garlic, shake it up, all done. All right, let's move that off the burner. All right, let's go ahead and give this a taste. It's still very warm. It smells really good. It's delicious. It's simple. It's easy. It's healthy. It's hearty. It's a perfect fall one-pot meal. And you can jazz this up so many different ways and add and be so creative with this. This is just the base. You can be so creative with this meal. Uh-oh. Alrighty, we are all done here. Please let me know if you have any questions.
So Natasha, you did another great job. I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm really watching my weight, because all these good foods, I just want to go and eat something and I'm not able to get to your recipe right now. But thank you so much for that. We do have a couple of quick questions, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
One of the questions was, were you using steel cut oats or just regular kind of oats?
Regular old-fashioned oats. So when you're making the smoothies, don't use steel cut oats. You either want to do quick oats. Let me see, I think I have some. You either want to do quick oats or old-fashioned, the old-fashioned rolled oats.
Okay, very good, very good. And then the other question was, is there any special type of blender that you use or that you would recommend?
Oh, I use I use a Ninja, but I love the NutriBullet because it's single. It gives you like 2 different cups, a large cup, or it gives you a small cup. I suggest getting that, or I think the model of it was the Magic Bullet. You don't need a big heavy duty blender for one smoothie. So either the NutriBullet or the Magic Bullet.
Great, great, great. Fantastic. So great tips there. Again, we really do appreciate what you're able to do to help people have a better understanding of how they can cook healthy. We really thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your recipes. We know that we get to have you one more time tomorrow, and so we're looking forward to that. And in the meantime, I just want to give you a big shout out to all the people that watch this and all the people that we're going to be sharing this with, that you did a great and wonderful job. So we appreciate all of your time, and hope that you have and enjoy the rest of your day, and also have some good family time.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the meals, and you all have a wonderful day as well.
I'm Reverend Vital, pastor to the children and youth at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Check out how we have been serving your children and youth online.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and we are currently serving our children via online Sunday services.
Hi, I'm Matt. We are serving our children online with midweek Bible study.
Hi, I'm Nyla, and we are serving our children online with virtual story times.
Hi, my name is Anthony. We are serving our children and youth online with hands-on activities each service.
Hi, I'm Cassidy. We are serving our children with monthly packets.
Hi, I'm Brittany. We are serving our children with virtual discussions.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and we are serving our children with all things social distance activities.
Hi, I'm Eddie. We are serving our teens online weekly.
Hi, I'm Brad. We are serving our teens online with live interactive discussion.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and we are serving our teens with Sunday services online.
Hi, I'm Kayla. We are serving our teens online with midweek Bible study.
Hi, my name is Layla. We will be serving our teens with life-changing discussions and conversations for teens led by teens.
Hi, I'm Cameron. We're leading a weekly Kingdom podcast led by our teens.
Hi, I'm Xavier, and we will be serving our teens.
Thanks to our teen leaders in the kingdom, we have not missed a beat since we've been online. If your children and youth are not involved with us, they are missing out. Please check us out on The Realm via the Kingdom Parent Group on The Realm. I'm Reverend Vital, pastor to the children and youth at Mount Pleasant. Take care.
Well, good afternoon, all. Welcome back. We trust that you had a great opportunity to hear some information about the whole idea about continue to cook healthy, and those steel cut oat smoothies really looked good to me. Hopefully it looked good to you as well. Now we're getting ready to have an opportunity to hear from a couple of men who are in the education field, and they're going to be talking to us and having a conversation about what it's like to be involved in trying to deal with children during this online learning environment. And so to host this session and moderate this session, we're going to have our own youth pastor, Reverend Shamitris Vital, to be able to dialogue with this group of young men, and we're going to have them introduce themselves as well. So if you would just be ready to stand by. I see we have Brother Ryan. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. And I know that we'll be eventually joined by Sean Lacey. I know is supposed to come and join us as well. But let me go ahead and bring in Reverend Vital, and she is going to then help facilitate the conversation and ask some questions. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are excited about this session with all things going on online and our children and youth being online. So welcome. Are you guys ready to begin your discussion?
I'm ready to go. Oh, there we go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lacey. You've got my favorite poster, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in there.
It is. You know, I tried, I'm in my basement. This is my basement classroom setup. So I tried to recreate some stuff from my classroom. So I got a 1984 poster and a Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's my favorite school movie, oddly enough.
That is, it's a great one too. And you know, these days our young people are catching up on old movies now.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable that we're thinking that as an old movie, but you know, I guess that's true.
It is. Mr. Lacey, can you hear us? Let's just test your audio out.
I'm good. I can hear you.
All right. Well, you guys are on.
All right. Well, Mr. Lacey, I don't know if you want to jump in here first. As an administrator, you probably have a different take on some of these things than I do. Just to let everybody sort of know, my name is Ryan Tibbins. I teach high school English in Loudoun County. I also run a small private tutoring company, mostly writing college admissions essays, things like that. I do a podcast on education called ClassCast Podcast, where we sort of talk about a lot of issues about how basically we can make school better. I was looking through the preview list of some of the questions and topics, and I think a lot of the questions that have been passed along to me are both very good questions and things, you know, probably deserving of attention. I also think that probably a little over half of them are more geared towards younger students, is sort of the look at it, you know, and I think that Ms. Lacey, hopefully you and I sort of strike a good balance here, because the quote unquote, the right answer for a high school student might look very different than the right answer for an elementary school student. So if you want, go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe jump in, since it looked like we had a few more questions about younger students.
Yeah, so first of all, Ryan, I agree. When we looked through the list of questions that were sent, I instantly said a lot of these things are more at the middle, elementary, and then might get to the 6th, 7th grade level. But good afternoon to all. Thanks for having this forum. Sean Lacey, currently the principal of Leesburg Elementary School in Loudoun County Public Schools. Excited about sharing some of these things, because some of the concerns that were expressed from parents are things that we deal with every day. And oftentimes parents don't get a clear understanding of the lane of the view that we have as administrators. Let me be very clear that in my 22 years of serving in a public school setting, nothing has prepared me for this 2020-21 year. Parents are having to do much more than they've ever had to do in order to educate their children. And we as educators are having to make adjustments daily to get it. I don't know a single educator that went to school to learn how to design websites and host Zoom meetings and things of that nature. So is definitely a challenge for each of us. So when we look at the first question, will we be able to give tidbits for junior high and high? Definitely. Really and truly, it's going to really cover the spectrum. So let's look at the daily distractions in the home that children are being faced with. The one thing that we've learned is the fact that we have an opportunity within education to ensure that the digital divide is eliminated. In many cases, we have multiple families attempting different grade levels to log into various platforms to receive instruction, things of that nature. So what we find is an opportunity to, first of all, incorporate more use of technology in our day-to-day once we're back into the building. And hopefully that can help with the students to get there. What I've learned, especially from the elementary standpoint, is the multiple siblings and the multiple family households face a greater challenge than those that are sitting there, which provides us with a platform to realize every child is going to learn a different way and in a different environment. So we have to be flexible in our instructions, flexible in our instruction at the delivery techniques and the expectations of it as well. I'm fortunate I have a building that understands completely that homework is not something that we do. You know, assigning a child homework at the elementary stage, depending on what they have going on in their family life, is just a waste of time for everyone. So we try and utilize this guided lessons and this synchronous learning time period as much as possible. What about you, Ryan, at the high school level?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit on something important there, that the number of students in the home has a massive impact on how this is going for people. I also just think that general family dynamics play a role. And one of the things that I think is really interesting, sort of in a big picture kind of way, is that we've heard a lot of talk about how we can ensure equity between students, you know, from rich and poor and big family, small family, and you know, two parents in the house, one parent in the house, child's at home with grandparents, et cetera. Like, there's so many different situations. And what I found is really interesting is that for most of my career, those have been discussions. And I don't mean this is going to sound more negative than I intended, but I think that a lot of that was kind of paying lip service to the idea. People talked about it, but we didn't really do anything. Mm-hmm. And what I've seen is that through the spring, especially, and then getting into this school year, we're actually making accommodations for the different home lives that students experience. You know, I'm teaching 11th and 12th grade English classes. I have a student who has a 15-year-old daughter. I have a student who's pregnant now. I have students who are on their way to Harvard next year, or, you know, in 2 years. You know, and so there's this sort of immense diversity of experience, right? And so we think about, how do we deal with the distractions? How do we deal with, you know, the first thing we got to do is get you logged in, and hopefully that, you know, whatever we're dealing with now, people have found ways to get internet access that's suitable for this. Hopefully this leads to some systemic change that turns internet access into maybe something more like a public utility, where it's a little more accessible for more people. I've been encouraging my students a lot that they need to think more than ever about good work habits. And I say this as a man who is very easily distracted, but if you're doing your homework, you know, we're trying to cut down on the amount of work to reduce the stress on students. But if you do your work with Netflix on, your phone next to you, and your personal laptop right there, I can cut, you know, I teach English. And so you got to do the reading. We'll do all the other work. We do all the writing. We do all this stuff in class. But I need you to read at home, because if we read in class, we never get anything else done, right? That's the one thing I ask them to do. I tell them, I say, you know, I'm trying to give you 20 minutes of reading, but if you can't find a quiet spot or turn that TV off, that 20 minutes turns into 2 hours, and I feel bad for you. But, you know, I've already done as much reduction as I can. And the thing I have to be careful of is that some students maybe have a harder time finding a quiet place in the house. And that's where that student, you know, we have a little one-on-one conversation about what can we do then. But I would say, you know, how do you deal with the distractions? To whatever extent you can, create a defined workspace in your home. It might be the kitchen table when you're not eating, or, you know, get a little desk, or, you know, just a space where, like, that's where we're doing school. And that way, when you're there, the rule is we're doing school now. Try to reduce the other distractions, phones away, you know, TV off to whatever extent is possible. just because this is hard. And one thing that's maybe making it harder is the other sort of noise, the other things happening in a house. So I would say that defining a space and trying to limit the other sort of technology available is a big step in the right direction.
To the families that are struggling to find that space, let me add a caveat that feel free, and this is key, the relationship that you have with your school administration as well as your classroom teacher is important. I know I've been contacted on several occasions. Families are looking for ways to help to create that space. We had desks in the back of a closet. Can you come pick up this desk? Come get this desk, bring it to your house, and go that way. And it's been very beneficial. So for those families, reach out to your schools, talk to those teachers, talk to those administrators. Ryan and I can't defend all of them, but for the majority, we're trying to be proactive and assistive in every way we can.
Can I ask you guys a question on that? So you were saying to have a defined space. So being that I service multiple youth online throughout the week. So here's one of the funny things that I've heard is they're all sitting in one room when you talk about the multiple age groups. And so their parents have put them all in the dining room, or they put them all in the basement. So one of the things I've asked about the distractions, why don't y'all use headphones? Well, I like hearing what my siblings' teacher is saying. So what if parents don't have the space? What is the other alternative to that defined space that everybody is 4 siblings sitting in in the garage or 4 siblings in the basement? What do you do? Because parents don't want them in their rooms.
I think this is where you get into a conversation that may be different based on the level of education. From a elementary standpoint, we can have it to whereas we can look to change what time period you go through a particular synchronous session. So is that, you could be, if we know the information, we could attempt, and we have attempted to put families to whereas the kindergarten morning meeting is not the same time as the 5th grade morning meeting. And after kindergarten goes to morning meeting, they go into an asynchronous session to whereas at the 5th grade, it goes directly into a guided session. It's rare, but at least it's an opportunity to try and break that up when we know about it from the families. I can't speak to the middle school or high school because they're more of a departmentalized or topic-based. Mr. Tibbins can't give that English 1 all day, but for the elementaries, speak to those administrators and let's talk about. In Loudoun County, we've had, every elementary school has hosted several town halls in which we share information to parents about what's coming down from the county standpoint, but we also listen to try and help us understand your struggles so that we can help you with it. So from an elementary standpoint, have that conversation so that we can look to balance that schedule.
Yeah, and I would say, that's probably, if I was going to give one answer to any of the questions that either have already been passed along or that maybe will be asked here, it would be to be in close contact with your student's guidance counselor, their assistant principal or principal, and maybe with a classroom, the classroom teacher in some cases. In the older levels, you're going to have several. So you think about the ones that maybe the place where your student needs the most help or where those distractions are causing the biggest problems. People are being remarkably resourceful right now. The thing is, you can't solve a problem if you don't know it exists. And I think that sometimes, I have the students who I have an English language learner team talk class where half the students, have only lived in the United States for a few years. And their dynamic is different than the average student in my AP English class, right? And so the thing that's been tricky is I really feel like I have to pull information out of them to understand what's going on so that I can say, well, you know what, don't worry about this, do that later. We can switch the order of this or, et cetera. You can make some accommodations. I think that sometimes, and I've run into this with a lot of students, they feel a little too proud to ask for help or to say that they're having a problem. And I think in this particular setting, sort of doing everything from home, it's more important than ever to be a little honest, be upfront with those kinds of things. In the high school level, I would say, even if you're all in the same room, using what Mr. Lacey has right now, a headset with a microphone, or even earbuds, you get a cheap pair of earbuds with a little mic hanging. I think a lot of people probably should just get them anyway if you don't have them, because it's useful to have around. And if we stick with the current plan of returning to school for the concurrent hybrid, where you're gonna have students in school 2 days a week. You're still going to have all these kids online. They're going to need this, because if everybody has, microphones on and speakers on, right, you're going to get terrible feedback. Like, I've been thinking through, how am I going to run my classroom? And I need to make sure that everybody's going to bring some of that technology, that maybe we have a few extra pairs in the classroom ready, just because even getting into the room 2 days a week isn't necessarily going to solve that problem of the extra sound and the rest. And so, not that we want to put too much on individual families, but if you can drop $5, $10, $15, you can get a headset and a microphone, and that can go a long way towards reducing some of that extra stimulation going on. I'm not going to pretend that's a magic bullet, but a headset with a mic goes a long way towards helping the student to sort of focus in on the thing right in front of them. Yeah, I mean, from the list of questions, that takes care of a lot of them, I think, because a lot of it had to do with sort of the distractions and things like that. There are also several on here that deal with engagement, and I don't know, maybe Mr. Lacey, if you want to speak to the engagement thing, because I'm a little bit cynical, and my answer is essentially that the engagement problem your child is facing online may not be that different than the engagement problem your child was having in school. You just have to be there to do, and I don't want to speak for too many other people, but I would argue that that is maybe not isolated to distance learning. And so that's probably a bigger problem we need to address, maybe in different ways than just a quiet room or things like that. But Mr. Lacey, I'll let you speak to that.
One of the greatest opportunities and victory, since that's a word of today, victory is a word of today, right? One of the greatest victories that has happened in this COVID environment is allowing parents to see what we see every day. And as an administrator, I've had the privilege and the pleasure over the last 2 weeks to have our quarterly conferences. First quarter is ended, we're having conferences, and parents are, he won't sit still. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's what we deal with every day. So this is what we need you to understand. Our purpose, and at elementary, I'm having a hard time getting them to keep the cameras on and stop trying to record folks and things of that nature. So it's an opportunity for parents to see truly that maybe that teacher wasn't just being mean. You really do have some issues with, staying focused, what have you. But on the flip side of it, Ryan, it sets us up for a conversation as we prepare to get back into the buildings to talk about how we're going to work better together to eliminate those things. I've had several parents that are changing their approach in regards to set schedules for themselves to interact and things of that nature. I've sent several to the Virginia Department of Education's website to understand the scope and sequence of what we're trying to teach, to go from there. So it is a reality check for many. We want to remain respectful of the challenges that the families are facing, because many of them are trying to balance educating the child as well as bringing home something to provide for those same children. So having their own conference calls and things of that nature requires us to be as flexible as possible. But I must acknowledge the fact that I could not miss the opportunity to say, yes, ma'am, this is how Ryan acts in class. This is what we see. So we go from there. But we have to educate our teachers on it as well, because some of the teachers are struggling with the digital components in which we're dealing with. So we have to help them see it. And as a building administrator, I just try and make sure that they can see themselves and let the child see themselves. This is you. These are those things. And whenever I get a nice little tweet or social media post that makes me think about children, I post it and I send it to my staff. Recently sent one out that was on social media about a young man counting. And I think the young man had $1.75, and he looked to his mom and says, Ryan is broke, and just started laughing and those kind of things. I said that student would be sent to my office immediately because everybody else started laughing. And then that brought up a great conversation among my staff, because Ryan, you talked about the need for flexibility, the need for understanding. And that's one of the greatest things that this time is providing us. So we look forward to seeing how we're going to continue to develop and grow.
So just a question, as educators, how comfortable do you guys feel with the movement forward and transitioning back into things like that? You know, I'm sure parents want to know, like, you know, from the educator standpoint, your principal, you're a junior and senior level teacher. How do y'all feel about that? You know, because that's who we miss the information from. We're not getting the people who are going to be physically on the front lines when we transition back.
I think people are probably a little bit all over the place on this. Like, there have been teachers who have wanted to be back from day one. There are teachers who, reasonably, but are very afraid, and maybe some unreasonably afraid. But it's hard to blame anybody for either wanting to get back to work normal or for being concerned about their health and their family wanting to stay home. My biggest concern, or maybe caution for anybody, sort of thinking about what they read in the paper, what they hear in school board meetings and things like that, is I would remind people that you tend to hear the most from the loudest voices, and the loudest voices tend to be the most extreme. I think that it's very easy to get into little bubbles where there are teachers who think no teachers want to go back because those are the only kind of teachers they talk to. There are people who want to be back in the building desperately and don't understand why they aren't, because they're not hearing those other voices. And so I would say, before anybody draws any quick conclusions based on what they've heard from a few people or a couple of social media posts or things like that, I would say, pump the brakes, and because there's people kind of all over the place on that. I think a lot of it, at least at the high school level, is a logistic issue, because just with the number of kids and thinking about class changes and things like that. I know that our school administration is working like crazy, and then the custodial staff, I hope they're getting a Christmas bonus, because they're moving furniture and they're doing everything they can to get all this ready. For me, I started talking about this. I did a podcast episode a few weeks ago when we first heard that concurrent hybrid was probably going to be the way to go. Not because I think it's a bad thing, just because I think maybe a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what that is. A lot of people think, I'm going back to school. Finally, my kid's back to regular school. And I think that we all need to recognize that regular school is not going to happen this year. I'm not a superintendent. I don't mean to speak on anyone's behalf but my own, but I can tell you that from what it looks like in my perspective, you're not going to have normal school again until at least next fall, And so we need to sort of adjust our expectations and understand that what we're going to do maybe will be good, maybe it will be better than what we're doing now, but it maybe won't be exactly what people are expecting. So, I think for us, that's going to be the trick of learning to balance the in-person student with the online. Like right now, imagine that you guys are in my online class, right? We're doing this all virtually. Now imagine that I'm teaching a concurrent hybrid class. I also now have 8 or 10 kids sitting right over here behind this screen. I can't change the class that much because there's 8 kids here, but I might still have 15 or 20 here, right? And so while, yes, they're going to have a different experience and I can help them a little more, I can keep them on task, the actual way class is going to run, at least at the high school level, is not going to be substantially different, because I still have to account for both groups of students. And I have a limited amount of time and limited resources to address those needs, right? And so I think that people are more worried about the logistics of getting into the building and how we can make this work for everybody. My personal belief, I'm generally confident that I can do my job well, and so my general belief is this is going to go fine. It'll be ugly for a week, but everything's ugly when you try something new, and I think we'll get it figured out. But I want to make sure that people have realistic expectations about what we're getting into, because while getting back to the building may be better for many students, it maybe isn't the return to normal that a lot of people are hoping for. And I think we need to be patient.
I echo those sentiments. The only thing I want to say, Ryan, because you've said it several times, and I think we might have some elementary school parents on here, concurrent hybrid is a secondary option. Concurrent hybrid, I repeat, is a secondary option. From the elementary standpoint, it's too vast. We're having conversations about it. I am vehemently against it for the notion of trying to deal with students in a building as well as online, keep me with the even divide that I have now. I'm fortunate I have 72 kids in my building each day since October 27th. And I must acknowledge the fact those 2 weeks have been great. The first day was nervous. It was, just making sure everything is there. I agree with Ryan. My custodial staff is getting much more than the normal baked ham this year than we would ever provide because of the services that they're providing.
Well, I think we're headed in the right place for sure. Now, Mr. Lacy, I wanted to ask you something because I thought it was funny, and I would have never, ever suspected, because I know that it's an issue for our older kids, but you said the children are having a hard time being on camera. Now, Ryan, I don't know which school district you're in, but I know my high school and junior high young people have told me, well, that's where they messed up. They didn't tell us we had to be on camera. So that's where they messed up. And I say that, in all due respect, because like online, I have to do online services, right, during the week. Well, my requirement is you can't be on my line observing. You have to be on camera. So what can we change, or what can parents change? Is that an option, or is it really because you're trying to keep from the issues with what's in their home and all those kinds of things? But you said you were struggling with it, so.
Well, from my vantage point, I would love to have the cameras on. It helps us with the engagement, the potential of the engagement, things of that nature. Parents have always had the right to restrict our video access. Each year we start, and parents can opt out of classroom pictures and other things that they can sign off that says, my child cannot be seen in this capacity, can't go into the yearbook, what have you. So and parents have had that right this year as well. The onus of keeping those cameras off lies on the parent. So we're fine there to sign the waivers. But now it's just, in many cases, parents may not be in the same room with the student. And some of the students, ironically enough, we talk about equity often in the county, but a lot of kids are embarrassed about their living arrangements and things of that nature. So they want to keep those cameras off. So they fear someone commenting about it or what have you. And then we have the others who want to play with their new poodle and things of that nature. And so it's often things, it can run the gamut on which one works best. We encourage our students to keep the cameras on so as that we can engage and go from there, because once you're in the building, you can't turn it off. So it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, at the high school level, I think students are having different experiences. I think different teachers are getting very different responses. I really do think a lot of it comes into the sort of I say classroom in quotes, it's not, you're not in the classroom, but it is still that same sort of dynamic. And the teacher is the person who needs to set that tone. I know for my students, I'm not allowed to require them to have it on, but I tell them that there are some times when you really should, and there's some times when I don't particularly care. I have the blessing and the curse of talking a lot. So I could this could be a blank screen, and I could sit here, I could just do it because I talk a lot, right? And then sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But I also know that sometimes the students are going to do better, or going to understand better if I can see them. And that's an important thing and I told students this right at the beginning of the year, and this is obviously a talk that works better at the high school level than below, but I explained the communications process, and there's a feedback loop. And I say, sometimes I need to say something again, but I won't know that I need to say it again unless I see someone looking confused. And so if you're not going to have a camera on, you need to type in the chat, you need to unmute and say something. I said, because otherwise I might make bad assumptions about what you do or don't need, what you do or don't know. That being said, I understand why a lot of students, don't want to have those cameras on. Generally speaking, when I say, guys, this is the moment, like let's flip them on, they've been pretty good about it. But very, very anecdotally, small sample size, looking at my own classes, students who have the cameras on more often tend to be doing a little bit better in the class. And that it doesn't mean they have the top grade in the class, but they're more likely to ask for help when they need it. I knew they needed help leading into something. It wasn't after we did a quiz or they wrote a paper and I go, oh, you didn't get it. Like the kids who are on the camera a little more tend to be a little bit more engaged. I have a better sense for how they're doing. And so, for parents listening, I would say, to whatever extent you're comfortable with it, I would encourage them to have it on. There are some weird social dynamics here. I've polled the classes and kids say in classes where more kids have their cameras on, I'm more likely to have mine on. And so I don't know what the number is. I hope somebody does some research, but I think there's a tipping point. You get somewhere around 40% or so. Once you hit around 40% of kids have a camera on, all of a sudden the number jumps to 80. Like there's nothing in between 40 and 80. Like you hit a point and all of a sudden they're on, and below that it's only a few kids. And so, everybody has to make that decision for their own student in their own home. But I would encourage the camera on if you can, just because it's one more way for the teacher to see what's going on and to offer extra assistance when it's necessary.
I would agree. So as we wrap up, I'm going to give you guys both about a minute and a half. We know you like to talk, but give us your final point that, if the parent didn't catch anything out of this whole thing, because they're just like the children. It's like, oop, I heard something. What would be that one takeaway point that you want them to take? I'll give you mine that I heard was that your administrators and the people in your school are the points of contact, and they can actually be the ones that will help you through this. So each one, Mr. Lacey, let's go with you.
I will echo what you just stated. Build the relationship, build the rapport with your building administration. Eliminate the ego. Allow us to help, allow us to work as a tangible community so as that we can get the results that you need. We have access to resources. I've pointed families on how to get free COVID tests, how to get food, how to get shelter, clothing, everything else, but you just have to have that conversation. So trust me enough to know I'm on your side and looking to do more than just educate your child.
Very well said. Mr. Ryan, what's yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think communication is the big one. And that's maybe a little bit of a cliche answer, but when you don't get to observe a person face to face and you can't see body language and a lot of the other things, letting people know where you need help, letting people know what you want to do goes a long way. And so I think a lot of people would benefit from maybe just dropping a weekly email, or every 2 weeks, you just check in with a counselor, a teacher, a principal, just, and I know sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't want to pile on. I know they're busy, but that's literally our job. I tell students on an almost daily basis, a kid hears this out of my mouth, make me earn my paycheck. Like, my job is to help you learn these things. And if you walk out of here and you didn't learn it, you let me walk away with free money. Now don't be abusive about that either and send 10 emails a day. Like, remember how much I'm actually paid, but make me earn that, and so I think it's important to ask. For some of the social things, I just think maybe it's important to find whatever level of engagement you're comfortable with and make sure your kid's getting out of the house. Maybe that just means you pick 2 other families and your kid plays with them. Maybe you're cool with it and your kid's playing sports or going to the park, but I think it's smart to extend your sort of circle beyond your immediate family and make sure you're getting outside and the kids are playing with each other a little bit. And then, as we get into winter, I don't know how we sort that out, but just stay in communication with the people who are trying to help you, because as Mr. Lacey said, schools have an unbelievable sort of, old school word, Rolodex of services and opportunities they can provide. But, we need to know where to point them. So that's it.
Well, we're in the church, so I'm going to say amen. You guys gave us a wealth of information, and from the online responses, it was well received. So I want to thank you both, Mr. Sean Lacey and Mr. Ryan Tibbins, for your time. And we just pray that all of this continues to move forward in our forward progression. So God bless both of you guys in your field of work and as you're moving forward. Thank you so very much.
Have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
And to our Mount Pleasant family, thank you so much for taking the time to tune into that on our educators and what they are providing to us. I'm going to bring back to you, Pastor Massenberg, and we are going to continue on with our health fair. So stay tuned. Don't log off.
So family, we just want to thank you. We want to thank Ryan and Sean again. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. We really appreciate your pouring into us and we are going to continue to reach out to take full advantage of both your knowledge and your wisdom to pour into our students and all the people that are hearing this information. So thank you so much. With that, you gentlemen can log off, and we are going to move into our next segment. I want to just let everybody know that we are so appreciative of the fact that you're going to go in and dialing in with us. Here's what we got coming up for us right now. We're going to be moving into a couple of really quick videos and the information on dental health. So we're moved into that oral category. We're going to have a couple of on dental health. Then we're going to pause, and we're going to have going to go back to one of the areas in terms of financial health. Kind of give us a break. We're going to wrap up the day with talking about, again, financial health information in terms of the budgeting. And then we're going to end up with how to be able to prepare healthy meals, but plan for it. So it's one thing to cook them, and it's another to plan for it. So without further ado, if you would go ahead and just stand by, and we're getting ready to come to you with one of our own, actually, Dr. John Jones.
Hello friends, we're talking to Dr. John Jones, an orthodontist in Loudoun County, Virginia, in Sterling. He's in the Countryside area, and this is part of a 4-part video series where Dr. Jones is going to first tell us a little bit about himself, his educational background, and why he became an orthodontist. And the second part, we'll talk a little bit about his practice here in Countryside and his office. And part 3, we'll be looking at patient care and the kinds of patients Dr. Jones sees, young patients, teenage patients, and adult patients. And in the final wrap-up of the series in part 4, we'll be looking at teledentistry and what Dr. Jones is doing to keep up with the challenges of COVID here at in the end of 2020 here. So Dr. Jones, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you interested in orthodontics and where you grew up and so forth.
Thank you for the opportunity. Again, my name is Dr. Jones, John H. Jones III. I'm from the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, from the town of Chesapeake. I grew up there, went to high school there. As a high school student, I played sports, football, some basketball, ran track, and eventually decided to go to college.
Where did you end up going to college, Dr. Jones?
I ended up going to Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana.
Well, that's not in Virginia. How did you end up there? What?
Some friends of mine went out there playing sports and called back and said, try Purdue.
Okay.
You have the grades to do it, so why don't you give it a try? So I said, okay.
Were you active in sports in high school?
Yeah, I was pretty active.
Okay, good. So you went to Purdue and you majored in?
Biology. Majored in biology and minored in the cold. It was cold out there. Okay. A lot different from Hampton Roads, I tell you. So I did Purdue for 4 years. After going there, I ended up being accepted at Howard University's College of Dentistry, where I then went to dental school. After I finished dental school, I did an internship at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C. After that particular stint, I was accepted at Georgetown University's College of Orthodontics.
So you actually did 2 residencies. You went to dental school and got your doctoral degree in dentistry, and then you went and did a residency in general dentistry at the hospital. Is that right?
Yes, I did that because I wanted to make sure that I was able to make the transition between orthodontics and dentistry, just so we can better treat a prospective patient. I wanted to know more about the treatment plan aspect of general dentistry and how I could merge that with the treatment plan aspect of orthodontics.
So you have a residency in dentistry, general dentistry, and a second residency then in your dental specialty of orthodontics. Correct. Do I have that right?
Yes, yes, yes. All for patient comfort, patient.
So being well trained in that, how do you find that your general dentistry training and residency help supplement your orthodontic specialty training residency experience?
Quite a bit. In that, again, I can take the treatment plans that a general dentist has come up with, integrate that with the orthodontics that may be needed to be done, and we can come up with a great treatment plan and great result for the prospective patient.
What got you interested in going into orthodontics after finishing your general dentistry residency at the hospital in Washington?
I like the concept of orthodontics. We move teeth, we reshape faces, we correct bites, we take care of pain, especially in the area in front of the ear, and it just helps us to make the person the best person that they can be. A lot of times in orthodontics, people focus on the aesthetics or the looks, but orthodontics is much more involved in that. But I wanted to make sure we took care of all aspects of orthodontics, including the bite and the looks.
So people look better and they feel better. Or does it? You find that it helps their self-esteem or their confidence, or?
Yeah, self-esteem is a very important issue that has to be dealt with. And if a person feels good about themselves, they act better, they present better, and they're more confident about how they present themselves, and they have the opportunity then to be the best person that they can be. And it feels good, if I can keep going, that I have some sort of small input in a person's self-esteem.
So it makes you feel good and gives you a feeling of reward then, making other people feel better. In part 2 of our video series, this will be talking to Dr. Jones about his practice, which is located in Countryside, that is Sterling, Virginia, right off of Route 7. And Dr. Jones is going to help us better understand how widely he draws patients from in the area, Leesburg, Sterling, Loudoun County in general, and a little bit about his practice. So Dr. Jones, go ahead and take it away.
Great. Again, thank you for allowing me to speak. I am very fortunate in that I have a wide range of locales that patients come to visit me from. Ashburn, obviously Sterling, Leesburg, Fairfax, Purcellville, Washington, D.C., and etc. So there are quite a number of locations that send folks to me.
So if a patient's family is happy, they will recommend you and refer others to you because they're very happy with you, and maybe distance isn't that big of an issue if you're really happy with the care that you receive. Is that kind of the feedback you're getting?
Yes, and especially orthodontics is a very unique specialty in that we're not seeing patients but once every 4 to 6 weeks. So making a decent drive once every month and a half, a lot of times isn't that bad. Yeah. So they're very amenable to sometimes coming the distance. Now, a lot of folks really appreciate the closeness too now, don't get me wrong, but being located a bit further away from the Countryside area, a lot of times is not a big issue.
So, and I guess if they see you for over a period of a year and a half or so forth, it's not like going once a year to your dentist or twice a year. You're going to be seeing an orthodontist way more often, so you want to have a good relationship with a friendly doctor who's going to take good care of you. Is that kind of what you're seeing? Or?
Yeah, you know, and that's to me one of the most unique parts about orthodontics is that it's really, at the end of the day, relationship based. Because if you think about it, I'm seeing a person once every 4 to 6 weeks for 2 years. So I see them evolve. I see the families evolve. I meet the younger siblings. I know the older siblings. So it just becomes a very, very, very good situation in that we just relate very well to one another. And the smile works out well, so everybody's happy.
Now, I'm not a practicing orthodontist like you, but I have been here and I've seen some of your staff, and they seem to be very friendly, very well trained. Tell me, what role do they play, and how do you feel about having a friendly staff, I guess?
Well, in orthodontics, again, we're a bit unique in that a lot of times the staff does quite a bit of the work. So consequently, I'm directing the staff, my assistants, to do a lot of the work. Yeah. Now, the front staff, the receptionist, financial team, they do a good job in just smoothing things over, making people feel good, being very amenable to appointment changes and these sorts of things.
So you've got a sort of two kinds of staff people then. You've got a clinical staff for doing the care of the patient, then an administrative staff that takes care of like insurance and billing and appointments, things like that. Is that how it works out?
Exactly so.
Okay.
And I'm very blessed and fortunate that I have a great administrative staff. I have a very talented financial staff, and my assistants are just wonderful. I can't even express how well they are.
So if they want to come and see you, Dr. Jones, is there a website they could look at and start talking to your administrative staff? Or
of course. You can go to Jones for Smiles.
That's Jones for Smiles.
Yep.
Is that
.com.
Is that Jones with a F-O-R or the letter 4 or number 4?
The number 4, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And my telephone number is 703-421-0893.
Sounds good. It's always a good time to get a good smile. Is that right?
Bottom line.
Good deal. In this part, we're going to be talking about patient care. Dr. Jones sees patients that are young, age 5, 6, 7, for early evaluations. He sees teenage patients who are, in the 7th, 8th, 9th grade and so forth, as well as adults. So, Dr. Jones, tell us a little bit about the earliest age group. I'm a parent, and I've got little Jimmy, and I think he may have crooked teeth. Is it too early to start? What do we do? How do you handle that?
Great question. With little Jimmy, we want to take a look at the patients as soon as possible, meaning at about the 6-year age mark, when the baby teeth are starting to fall out and the permanent teeth are starting to come in. That's a great time to have a parent take a close look and say, hey, let's take Jimmy to the orthodontist to allow him to take a look and see how the teeth are coming out, how growth is going on, if there are any cross bites, if the teeth aren't fitting well. And at that particular time, you bring the child in and we'll take a look.
Now, that doesn't mean just because you bring a patient in, they're in there for care. You're really talking mainly about an evaluation at that age to get a sense of direction of what, if anything, is going on. And it could very well be that they don't need any treatment, and that would be a reassuring result from the exam as well. Is that right?
Exactly correct. A lot of times they don't need the treatment, but we want to make sure that we get on top of things early.
Yeah.
Because at this point we want to guide and we want to evaluate the growth to see how the person is growing and how they're coming along. So we really need to get the information. And it is a brief evaluation. We just want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay?
What are two problems that you might want to look out for? And so if I'm looking at little Jimmy and I go, well, look, I think I see some, I don't know, crowding or what are two things, for example, that I would say, gosh, I ought to make an appointment with Dr. Jones to have an evaluation for my 5-year-old?
Well, some of the obvious things would be if there are large spaces between the teeth, if the teeth are very crowded.
Are these adult teeth or baby teeth or at 5,
Adult
6-year-olds?
teeth. I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
We're more particularly concerned about the adult teeth. If you see large spaces between the adult teeth, if we see crowding of the adult teeth, if you see a thumb habit, if the child is beginning or has been sucking his or her thumb, that pushes the top of the mouth more forward than the bottom of the mouth.
So, okay. So there are habits and things like that.
Correct.
Well, that sounds like a good idea to get an evaluation. Are there any, what is the cost for getting an evaluation for a 5-year-old in the beginning?
Evaluations are no cost.
There's no charge. Well, gosh, that sounds like a good deal to have just come in. So
yeah, because we just want the information.
Yeah.
We want the parent to be fully informed so they can make the correct decision.
Okay.
That's the bottom line.
Okay, very good.
At the end of the day, we feel like this. If you have an issue, we'd love for you to come here, but if not, we just want you to know that something's going on and to get it corrected.
Now, if I'm working with my family dentist, do I necessarily need a referral from the family dentist, or can I just go ahead and make an appointment directly with you, or how would that work? Or I can do both, I guess. Is that right?
The option is yours.
Oh, okay.
You may detect some things before the family dentist detects them. I mean, because you go to see him maybe once a year.
Right.
But between that time of the last appointment seeing him, you may detect some things that were going wrong or that you feel aren't correct. At that point, you can either tell him or call us.
Now, you are a dentist, is that right?
That's
so,
correct.
And you had a residency in dentistry after you got your dental degree, and then on top of that, you're also an orthodontist because you did an orthodontic residency.
Exactly.
So you've got a lot of background there to understand everything that's going on.
And that's one of the reasons that I did it. I wanted to make sure that I'm able to see what's going on.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we work very closely with the general dentist anyway.
So
if I were to detect something, I would immediately call him or her and put them on notice, and we'll work it out together.
tell me a little about teenage patients. I guess it could be that little Jimmy at age 5 or 6 really didn't have any severe problems, but here we are now at age 12 or 13, and little Jimmy has more and more teeth coming in, and now it begins to be a little bit different. Jimmy no longer is 5 years old. Jimmy is 12 years old. And how does that play out? You would have continued to watch Jimmy at age 12, and then what happens then?
No, as we watch Jimmy, we will see how things start to evolve. A lot of things can change, change how people's teeth fit. A sports injury, a protracted habit, they can all alter growth, and as growth is altered, then the teeth are going to be changed in a lot of cases.
Okay.
So at 12, we would have gotten Jimmy started with some sort of orthodontic treatment, fixed orthodontic treatment, meaning braces on each tooth, or some sort of appliance.
Sounds good. I think there's a lot to be talked about on these, and we'll talk about adult care maybe in a separate segment. But if I have a 5-year-old who I want to have evaluated, or a 12-year-old who maybe I've transferred into the area, how do I get in touch with you, Dr. Jones? Do you have a website or do you have a phone number?
Well, my website is Jones for Smiles, the number 4smiles.com.
Great.
Just contact us. We'll
All right.
take care of you. Okay?
Very good. And you got that friendly staff always answering the phone. Thank you, Dr. Jones. We'll talk about adult care on the other side. Hello, friends, and welcome to part 4 of our video series with Dr. Jones. And in this part, we're going to be talking about teledentistry. It's November 2020 right now, and there's something in the air going around. It's known as COVID-19, or the coronavirus. And a lot of offices have made big changes, including Dr. Jones. And one thing we'd like to talk about today with Dr. Jones is teledentistry, like telemedicine. So if you've gone to your doctor and instead of sitting there in the room filling out the forms, they have emailed that to you, or maybe you've had a consultation over your laptop, this is exactly what teledentistry is about as well, except in orthodontics. And Dr. Jones has recently set up his office to be very active in teledentistry, and he's going to share a few aspects of that with us today. So Dr. Jones, what is teledentistry in your office, and how does that work in orthodontics as far as the initial, what do you call it, a consultation or evaluation, whatever the word is? So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, teledentistry is a concept that seems particularly mated to orthodontics. I say that because with teledentistry, it's a situation where we can see by using a laptop, FaceTime, or Skype. We see how the teeth are positioned. As an example, if you think there's a situation that you're concerned about with your child, you can shoot me a FaceTime shot, and I will then get the opportunity to evaluate it and give you a call or contact you to make some recommendation. Now, this is a preliminary type of evaluation. We likely would ask you, if I'm concerned about your concern, to make an appointment to come in for a more thorough evaluation.
So if I have a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, and rather than come in for an evaluation, I could actually call your office and schedule maybe a teledentistry initial preliminary, whatever you want to call it, yes, consultation, and all you're going to do there is what, just sort of chat and talk and give me some information? Great. And then if something is warranted, then we go to the next step. Is that right?
Exactly. You can do that from your kitchen table. You can do that from your living room couch.
All you need is an iPhone or a smartphone or an Android phone or something, exactly, so you can get the pictures sent. Okay, that sounds good.
Have a brief conversation.
Great.
And I can give you my thoughts about what I see, and we can move from there.
Super. What is the cost for a teledentistry consultation?
Consultations are free.
That is free as well.
cost,
Okay,
yes.
well that is good. That seems to be a trend in a lot of offices where there's a courtesy consultation. So that's good to hear.
Well, we just to expound on that for a second. We want to get the information out there, you know. And again, as I said in the previous segment, I would love for you to come here, but the bottom line is I want you to be treated. I want your child to be healthy. I want them to have the confidence, the healthy bites, and the pain-free, balanced eating ability that they deserve.
Can I get a second consultation if I've had an opinion from another doctor and I kind of wonder if that's right, or maybe the price was a little uncomfortable for me or whatever? Am I allowed to shop around, or can I send you that information? And
no problem. Again,
okay.
We want to get you the information. You know, if you have information is power. We want you to use that information to take care of your family, especially in the orthodontic arena.
And it could be what the consultation means. Little Jimmy is fine. Just give us another shout in another 6 months. And
Yes.
a consultation by teledentistry doesn't necessarily lead to a visit to the office per se.
Again, we're dispensing information. We want you to know what's going on with your child or you.
Yeah.
And from that, we all make a coherent decision about what the next step should be, if there's a next step.
Well, it seems like it's November 2020 and COVID is going to be with us well into 2021. So it sounds like teledentistry is going to be still with us, at least in the near future. So
Yeah, it's going to be an advantage to the patient and to the doctor, because this allows us to see you without having you leave your house and be possibly exposed to the COVID-19 that's going around now. So.
Well, just real quickly, like in the other videos, do you, in case people haven't seen the other ones, is there a quick website you could refer to or a phone number that a potential parent could give a call to?
Of course. Their website is Jones4Smiles.com. My telephone number is 703-421-0893.
Okay, give us that number again.
703-421-0893.
Great.
Please contact us if you have any questions about anything in orthodontics.
And that friendly office staff person will say hello and help you out. Is that right?
She'll take care of you.
Good deal.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Dr. Jones.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to you on the other side.
Hello. Welcome to Jones Orthodontics. Come right in. I'm removing my mask for purposes of this tour. Normally, adhering to the protocols of COVID-19, I would wear it. But come on in. This is the reception area, and my receptionist is here. And as you walk in, she's going to take a temperature of you and have you move forward to the hand sanitizer area. As we continue through to the rest of the office, she'll have you stand there and then come forward to do a mouth rinse for us. This is the treatment area. These are my treatment chairs. As you see, we have erected plexiglass barriers between them. Again, in an attempt to keep the 6-foot distance that we need to keep everyone safe. Now, this is the area where I keep my pliers, my elastics, my wires, some more hand sanitizer, and my gloves. As we continue through, this is my second bank of chairs. Again, we have the plexiglass erected to help protect my patients and my staff. Coming around. This is the room where we do our diagnosis. In this room, we have some advanced technology. We have a cone beam x-ray machine that allows us to take 3D x-rays of your face, mouth, and jaws. As you continue, this is an intraoral scanner. By using this wand, I can take pictures or scan the inside of your mouth, which will allow me to see exactly what's going on. It also sometimes negates the possibility of having to take impressions. An extra added attraction of this technology is that I can show you your end result on the screen on the same day that you come in. You take photographs during this diagnostic process. This is the camera that we use to do that. As we move to the next room, this is our long treatment room, meaning when you come in here, this is where we probably will put the brackets and bands on you. Normally that takes 45 minutes or an hour. So this is the room where that will take place. This is the room where we do our teledentistry. Teledentistry allows us to take a look at your teeth, or your child's teeth, by way of you sending us some information on Skype or FaceTime or some other technology like that. We then can evaluate it and give you an idea of what type of treatment that you may or may not need. And you can do that from your living room couch or your kitchen table. We want to make it convenient for you. Finally, this is our administrative area. This is the area that handles the insurances and the financial arrangements. Thank you for coming along on this tour with me today. I can be reached at jones4smiles.com, and my telephone number is 703-421-0893. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming. Have a great day.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I am Dr. Love with Awesome Smiles Dental Center. We are located right next door to the Haymarket Coles, where we truly believe when you change your smile, you change your life. I am so happy to be here today to share a couple of things with you regarding ensuring that you are able to get the smile of your dreams using the Veteran Community Care Program. I want to thank the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church coordinators and all of the people who were able to make this event possible. Thank you so much for, again, giving me this opportunity to share some information that hopefully is going to make the day for some people and be able to actually help them to share other news to other veterans they may know about some of the programs that are available to them. This exactly is going to be what we'll talk about today. We'll look at a little bit about image and general hygiene. We'll talk a lot about the mouth as a part of your body, because it is. And unfortunately, a lot of people forget that. And I want to make sure that you understand that your mouth is a part of the body and that there is a link between your mouth and your body and what happens in both places. We'll also talk a little bit about the community care process. How does this work? What is the community care program? What are the criteria? How do I get involved? How do I make sure that I let other people know about it? We're going to talk about all of those things moving forward to make sure that you have a clear understanding of how this program may be able to benefit you or another veteran that you may know. So what exactly is image and hygiene, and how does that impact you? Well, the first thing I always like to tell people is that first impressions are long lasting. and they are unique. And guess what? You only get one opportunity to make that first impression. So don't you want to make it count? Don't you want to make sure that that first impression gets you in front of the right person and they can see the right thing? They can see your confidence. They can see how well you are able to do things because you believe in yourself, and your smile helps to have you have that confidence. A lot of times with veterans, regardless of whether you're old or new, it doesn't matter. If you've been a veteran for 5 years, if you've been a veteran for 10 years, 20 years, it doesn't matter. All of those things make a difference, no matter if you're a veteran or not. A lot of times it can be very difficult to make sure, excuse me, that you're able to travel and coordinate certain types of care with veteran dental facilities. And because of that, sometimes you let your smile not be the best it can be because it's so difficult to get appointments. Maybe you're having to go and travel to a place that is more than 50 miles away from your location in terms of where you live. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Sometimes it's because veterans don't have the knowledge to make sure that they have access to all of those benefits, again, that are necessary and associated with all of the sacrifices that they have made. I think we all can agree, because I'm a veteran myself, I think we all can agree that veterans have and continue to make sacrifices for both you and for me. Not only is it the veteran that makes the sacrifice, but it's also the veteran's family members. It's the spouse, it's the children. You know, it takes a group of people to support the veteran and that person's efforts to support the Constitution and the country, and to make sure that they're able to move and do things outside of just being a veteran and being able to be the family member that they are. And once again, it starts with having that wonderful smile that puts you and sets you aside from a lot of other people. We want to make sure that you're able to seek preventative care from an oral physician or a dentist. That would be me. We want you to be proactive instead of reactive, because proactive care is what will help you to be able to keep your teeth for a lifetime. And that's what we want. We want you to smile with confidence. We want you not to be ashamed of what's in your mouth. And we want you to be able to eat and chew until you are unable to do so. And sometimes that won't be based upon what's happening in your mouth. We don't want it to be about what's happening in your mouth. So again, as I always say, your mouth is a part of your body. Now, what does that really mean when it comes to oral health care? Well, I'm glad you asked. Science has shown a connection between diseases of the body and your mouth, including diabetes, erectile dysfunction, and dementia. And that's just a part of the overall scheme. What happens in your mouth has an impact on your body, and vice versa. It happens all the time. Seeking and obtaining continuous care is key to healthy living and healthy smiles. So don't think that it's okay to actually, skip your dental appointments, skip those appointments that maybe you just didn't have time to get to, because life sometimes will get in the way. But you have to make sure that you make the appropriate time available so that you can seek the care that you need to keep smiling. Your mouth does not set aside and apart from the rest of your body. As a matter of fact, a lot of the ways that things can get into your body is through your mouth. There are only a couple of ways that things will get access into the body, and your mouth is one of the biggest. I like to always talk about highways because most people have driven on interstates, or they've driven on large routes and things like that, and so they understand highways. And they know that if you're on a highway and you're standing in the middle of I-66, as a good example, you know that there's a difference between being on I-66 and maybe being on one of the side roads. But you also understand that sometimes those side roads feed into I-66 or whatever interstate is near you. All of those things matter, okay? Bad germs in your mouth have been found in heart tissue, lungs, the brain, and even the bloodstream, absolutely. I like to tell patients that the germs in the mouth like to take an Uber. They will Uber inside the body and they'll just go to different places just for the fun of it. But that's not what you want. You don't want those bad germs to be everywhere in your body because they wreak havoc on the rest of the body. And when that happens, of course, that can cause you more issues and concerns, which you don't want. With COVID-19 wreaking havoc on access to care, you can understand how important it is to be able to seek dental treatment. The lungs are very close to your mouth. And so if you have an issue with your mouth or an issue with the lungs, and that's unfortunately where COVID-19 seems to be having the most impact, you can understand clearly that there could be a connection between the two. And it's important for you to seek those things and those appointments that will help you to be healthier. Because not only will it help to boost your immune system, having a healthy mouth, but it can also have an impact, like I said, on any type of COVID-19 interaction as well. With COVID-19 and reduced number of appointments, there is, of course, going to be extra precautions, or there have been, I should say, extra precautions taken by dental offices, and you would expect that. But what I can also tell you is that it's added additional time between patients because you have to clean, you have to make sure that you're doing these things that are going to make everyone safe. And if I may just add, the dental office has always been one of the cleanest, I should say, and one of the safest places to be for your health care, because we truly believe, and we have to fall within line of the American Dental Association, as well as the CDC, that says, of course, that we want to make sure that we treat everyone with universal precautions. That means that at the dental office, we always treat patients as though they have everything, because we don't know what they have. Certain people will share their medical history with us. Certain people won't share certain things with us. And because of the fact that we don't know and we're subjected to patients all day, every day, we have to treat everyone as though they have HIV, as though they have hepatitis, as though they have COVID-19 now. So you can trust and believe that the dental office is going to be one of the safest places you can go to actually receive treatment. But I've seen over these last few months that there have been significant impacts, including increased bleeding of the gums, larger cavities, people coming in with infections because maybe they were holding off getting treatment done. And because of COVID-19 and the impact that it's had on scheduling, it has only increased the amount of time that it takes to get into a dental office for an appointment. And of course, unfortunately, pain has been a problem. Patients who've been holding off on certain treatment, patients who thought they had time to go and do other things, they're finding out that that's not the case. That's not the case. And all of those things, of course, like I said, are having an impact between the mouth and the body. And then what happens in your mouth absolutely impacts your body, like I said earlier, and vice versa. You want to make sure that you get access to care so that it's simpler and it's easier for you to be able to get in and get taken care of. That's a part of the reason why I'm here today to talk to you about this community care program. How can you get access to care easier, and how can we make it so that it is better for you as the veteran? Now, moving forward, though, let me ask you a couple of questions. Which one of these do you think would be either true or false? Okay, and you can actually put your comments in the chat. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. As we're going along, you may hear some answers, or you may see some answers, I should say, from me, as I am interacting as well. But just tell me, and just again, type it in the chat box. Do you think that this is true or false? See your dentist only when you have pain. Do you think that's a true statement? Or do you honestly believe that is a false statement? Pain is not all that there is when it comes to having a diagnosis. Pain is just one sign that something is wrong, and I can tell you that. There are, for instance, 5 signs of an infection. Pain is just one of them. So just because you don't have any pain, it doesn't mean you don't have an issue. And just because you have sporadic pain doesn't mean that you have a large issue and large treatment that's needed. What about this one? I've had a deep cleaning before, but I can come in whenever I want to for another cleaning. It's okay. What do you think about that one? I'm interested in your answer. And then what about this one at the end where it says, I'm too old to do anything to my mouth, or I have plenty of time to get that tooth fixed. Can you imagine how many people actually said that before March of this year of 2020? And then look at now,
and how difficult it is to get in and how much time it takes to get in. And sometimes you have to actually go to the emergency room for a dental condition that could have been prevented. We want to prevent those types of things. We don't want to, again, have you be reactive. Being proactive about your health is always better than having a reaction and then having to determine, well, how do I get treatment? Because again, appointments are fewer. It's taking longer to get in to see dentists. And unfortunately, we still can only see so many patients safely per day because remember, the team members have to go home as well. We have families, we have children, we have spouses, we have parents. We want to make sure that we're keeping them safe as well. And that's the reason why we go through all of these additional steps to make sure that everyone who comes at least into our office feels safe and we know that they are safe. So with that being said, and thank you for your answers today, what exactly are the things that we can look forward to in terms of veteran oral health care? Okay, I know people are sometimes afraid of rejection. And if you look at the top picture and you look at the bottom picture, which person do you think is going to have the most confidence when they're meeting people, when they're trying to find another position, when they're on some of these Zoom calls or some of these other, sometimes they're using Microsoft Teams. They're using a whole lot of other programs that actually allow you to be at home and actually be able to talk and speak to people. What do you think? Who do you think actually has the highest level of confidence? Person A or person B? Okay. Healthy smiles mean a lot. It can include replacing old fillings. Maybe you have some broken teeth. Maybe you have discolored crowns, or you need to replace uncomfortable dentures because they just don't fit well. Maybe you just never liked that denture. And what I can tell you is dentures on the bottom are by far the worst ones to either get accustomed to or either be able to actually use because they're constantly fighting the tongue. Your tongue is one of the strongest muscles in your body, in case you didn't know it. It can move, it will move something that's in its way. Your tongue is very strong. And so sometimes when you have dentures, it makes it harder for your denture to sit well and for you to eat and chew comfortably because it's always fighting the tongue. But I'm here to tell you that eligible veterans, young and old, can receive care for up to $0 to get overall healthy. And how do you do that, you may ask? Well, you do that by entering into the community care program if you're a veteran, an eligible veteran. And so what is this? It's pretty easy. It's the availability of dental and medical care offered and received from a local doctor. So that means that you don't necessarily have to go all the way to the VA's treatment facility to get treatment. If there is someone who's local and who has been approved to actually provide this care. The program allows the VA to provide the care that's guaranteed to veterans from doctors that they may already see. I had a lot of patients who actually were already in my practice and brought to my attention that they were veterans. Because they were veterans, I discussed this program with them, and they were actually eligible to transition from the regular insurance company that they had into the Veteran Community Care Program and receive their treatment at no cost. Now, of course, there's a process, and we will overview that as we move through. But imagine the happiness they felt when I was able to share this information about this program. They had no idea. They thought that it was too difficult to go to the VA, and so they were just going to continue to do things that they had been doing. But there's sometimes a better way. Sometimes there's a least expensive way that will still allow you to get high quality care without actually having to travel to the VA. It allows veterans to seek care outside of, again, that VA dental facility, and a lot of times it's by a certified provider, and it's at no cost to you. So it reduces travel to the VA, it reduces the hassle of parking, and it takes the amount of time to get an appointment, and it makes it easier. Okay, so again, all of these things are pros associated with this program because they help you to be able to get the care that you need in a simpler, easier fashion. So what exactly is an overview of this process and how does it work? Well, there are certain things that you have to make sure that you touch upon and make sure that you are very, very clear about. And one of them starts with eligibility. You must be an eligible veteran in order to be able to participate in this program. Not everyone is going to be eligible. But again, that is a part of it. Eligibility, how to make appointments, making sure that you get your care. The billing aspect is also a part of this overview. And then, of course, the final is going to be happy, healthy smiles. We want you to be able to, again, smile with confidence, understanding that when you change your smile, you change your life. And if you ask anyone who's had a life-changing experience in the dental office, they will tell you with 100% certainty, getting the smile of your dreams is going to make it so much easier for you. And it's going to make your whole body healthier. Whole body healthier. And that's what we're about. So talking about eligibility, these are the things that, of course, you have to make sure you're aware of, okay? Eligibility, once again, depends on his or her individual healthcare needs. If you don't need certain treatment, then, of course, you're not going to be approved for the treatment. It's not age dependent. You do not have to make sure that you are a certain veteran for a certain length of time, because it doesn't matter. It's not time dependent. You could have been recognized yesterday as an eligible veteran and actually seek program assistance and be in the program and receiving dental care in the next 30 days. Or by the same token, maybe you were a veteran from 30 years ago, and now your dentition or your mouth is breaking down, you're having more issues, and you're eligible. You can get treatment as well. Okay, but once again, it doesn't apply to all veterans. You must meet the eligibility criteria. You also must be enrolled in the VA healthcare system or be eligible for VA care without needing to enroll. So if you are already a disabled veteran, then you're already in the healthcare system because you have a service-connected disability. There's a difference, though, between your service-connected disability at 100% versus maybe having a service-connected disability only for something that's in the mouth. Those things are going to have to be worked out between you and your VA rep. But your VA staff member is going to be more than happy to help you to make sure that you understand what's eligible, what you are eligible for, and then what and how you may be able to seek treatment. Additionally, you must meet one of 6 criteria, and it's very easy and simple. And I'll go through these relatively quickly with you, but the veteran needs a service not available at the VA medical center. So maybe you just need a regular hygiene visit and you are eligible, but it's going to take a year before you can get in to see someone at the dental facilities, for instance, in DC. Well, that doesn't help you because you want to make sure that you're staying healthy. And you understand that you need to have your dental checkups in order to determine if there's any treatment that's needed. So 1 year is not going to work for you. That could make you eligible for the program. Veterans who live in a U.S. state or territory without a full service VA medical facility, if you meet that criteria as well, you would be eligible for this program. Remember, you only have to meet 1 out of these 6. If you meet more than 1, great. That means that you're certainly eligible. But you really only have to meet 1. Maybe the veteran will qualify under the distance criterion for the Veteran Choice Program. Before there was the Community Care Program, there were other programs such as this one, the Veteran Choice Program or the VCP program, and it did basically the same thing because there was no access to care. It applied mainly to vets in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Alaska, and Wyoming. You know, those are states that are unfortunately are wide in land, and unfortunately there aren't many cities and states, many cities or towns that actually will have access to a veteran facility or a VA facility. Okay. Maybe the veteran or the VA cannot provide care with certain driving or wait times. Again, in the DMV or that would be the District of Columbia or DC, Maryland and Virginia area, I think we are well aware of the issues associated with traffic. Well aware. Sometimes you can be 15 minutes away or 15 miles away, I should say, and it will take you an hour and a half to get there because of all the traffic, especially depending on when your appointment is set. If there is construction that is going on, if there is some sort of road improvement programs that are happening at the time, as there are now on I-66. It could take you forever, it would seem, to get somewhere, when in reality, the distance may not be that far. So again, those are the types of things that if you talk to your staff VA member, they will be able to help you to be able to overcome that. And of course, that will make you eligible for the program. Maybe it's in the best interest of the veteran per discussion with the referring clinician. So needless to say, you still have to have a relationship with someone at the VA who can actually make sure that you are eligible for this program and actually make sure that you're going to be able to get the care that you need. You know, maybe you have a certain type of cancer, and because you have that certain type of cancer, the VA office or the VA treatment facility cannot offer you the type of treatment and the type of provider that you need. You need a special type of oncologist, and unfortunately, they just don't have that ability. So that would make you eligible as well. And then lastly, if the VA treatment facility cannot provide quality of care that meets the VA standards, then you may also be eligible. So again, those are the things that actually make you eligible for this program, and you only need to meet one of 6 of these, okay? But once again, you always need to confirm eligibility first with a VA staff member. That's the person who's going to be able to help you to understand if you're eligible for this program or not. Now, once you have, yes, determined that you're eligible, yay, you're happy about that, what then? Well, the next step is going to be able to make an appointment, okay? You have a certain number of ways that you can actually get an appointment, all right? But again, everything starts with confirming eligibility with your VA staff member. You can either request an appointment with your specific community dentist. I'm Dr. Lowe. Again, we are actually preferred providers for this particular program. We're not that far away in the DMV area from anyone, depending on where you live. You can use the VA online scheduling to request an appointment. You can go through your VA rep, or like I said, you can call Awesome Smiles Dental Center directly. We'd be more than happy to take and make an appointment for you. Of course, just please understand that there still is a process that you must ensure happens, and we are here to help you as much as we can. You're going to receive a referral for the specific services before you schedule and before your actual appointment. So you must make sure that you have your referral from your VA representative and that you have a copy of it as well as the dental office, okay? So again, that referral is basically going to outline what treatment you can receive to make sure that everyone is on the same sheet of music in terms of what treatment you're going to need, what are the codes, what is the nomenclature, which means, you know, what is the description of what is going to happen. All of that starts on your referral. Now, it doesn't mean that the referral cannot be changed, but it means that in the initial analysis of everything, you want to make sure that you have that, because that is basically your move past, your go, you're good to go, let's move forward document, okay? So again, that's setting up your appointment. The next thing you want to make sure you do is, of course, get the care. So once you can, once you're able to confirm your appointment with Awesome Smiles, and make sure that the office has the VA referral, that is when you can move forward. But of course, maintaining your appointment and just going through the regular process of a regular traditional dental appointment. You come to your appointment as usual. There's typically going to be a treatment plan that is going to be presented to you based upon what diagnostically we see. We always take with the examination, we always take photos. We also take the x-rays that are necessary to make sure that you can get whatever is on your plan approved. Coming to your dental office and the program, the community care program, is no different than coming to your office and you have any other type of insurance or no insurance at all. There's a process that we go through to make sure that we outline what's going on with you, that you understand why you need to have certain treatment completed, and then we go through the process with you so that you understand. None of that changes because you're in this program. All of that is the same. It's just a couple of blocks that you have to check to make sure that you're able to get this. And of course, you always want to make sure that you include your regular dental checkups. Some people come and see us every 3 months. Some people have to see us every 4. Most people have to see us every 6. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. It just means that you have to come in and see us a little bit sooner because maybe you just have a little something else you need a little extra help with. That's the reason why we're here. We're here to make sure, again, that you can smile with confidence and that you keep your teeth for a lifetime. That's what we want to make sure happens. Again, just make sure that when you're going through this whole process, you keep in mind that if it's not on the referral, It's not going to happen in terms of not having an out-of-pocket expense, and you want to make sure that you maintain your oral health. That's the reasons why you want to make sure you have this information on your referral and you talk to your VA staff member. After you've gotten the care, the next step, of course, is going to be billing it from your dental office. But for you, there should be typically 0 co-payments. The only way you're going to have a co-payment is if there's a non-service connected type of treatment that was rendered. And of course, there's going to be a cost for you. Maybe you had something that you wanted to do that wasn't a part of your referral. Maybe because you're going to actually have approval for having your crowns or your caps, as some people like to call them, redone. Maybe you want to make sure that they're a little bit brighter. And because you want to be a little bit, you want to look a little bit more youthful as we all, get a little bit older. We want to maintain that youthfulness about ourselves, right? Maybe you want to brighten your smile. Maybe you're a coffee drinker. Maybe you smoked for some time, and maybe you're just tired of these dark brown chipped teeth. And if you qualify for having other treatment done, lightening your smile is not going to be typically one of them. And so maybe that's something you may have an additional cost for that's outside of what has been approved by the VA. So all of those are things that you, again, may have to contend with. But again, for the most part, your treatment is covered at no out-of-pocket expense, no copay at all, as long as you're eligible for the program. And your information and your treatment, of course, has been approved and is on your referral. Your referral, again, will reflect all covered care. And again, you should have no costs associated. Please make sure you read your referral. I always tell veterans this: read your referral. Ask your VA staff member, can you please point out to me where the codes are associated with this treatment? Because the form can be a little bit daunting. It can be a little bit confusing. But as long as you know and understand what is going on and where to go and find certain information, you'll be able to get it and you'll be able to share it. Again, if you have any questions with billing, sometimes this is a contact number. In case you haven't figured out, it is very difficult sometimes to reach people at the VA. Sometimes it's best to email them. But if you have a specific option that you can use, make sure you do that as well. So in this particular case, if there's a billing issue for some reason, this is an option that you can actually move towards. So in conclusion, this afternoon and today, I want to make sure that you understand first that there is an oral systemic connection between your mouth and the rest of your body. When you're talking about COVID-19, diabetes, heart conditions, erectile dysfunction, dementia, and even in the midst of increased strokes, there is a link. What happens in your mouth does not just stay there. There are a lot of things that happen in your mouth that cause issues with your body, and there are many issues with your body that will actually show impacts in your mouth. As a preferred provider in the Veteran Community Care Program, we are here to serve the veterans, okay? We are here to serve you and to make sure that you understand and have available to you whatever benefits there are because you deserve them. We thank you for your time and energy. We thank you for your service. We want to make sure that we are able to, again, provide any additional services and benefits that we can for you. Your smile is one of the first things people see and remember about you. Let your personality shine through. You can do it. And we can help you to make sure that it is as pleasant as possible and that you are having the healthiest smile available. If you'd like to learn more, I ask you to please go to our Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, you'll see us. We're Awesome Smiles VA. You'll see my face. That's how you know it's Dr. Lowe. You can either go to our website at Awesome Smiles VA, as in Veteran Administration.com, or you can even go to va.gov/community-care and you can learn more. We actually have on our Facebook page and on our website page a test that you can take. It's a little quiz that will kind of guide you and highlight things to make sure that you're able to determine if you're eligible or not. And then you want to just reach out to the VA. We can't do anything unless the VA has approved your treatment. And remember, you're going to need that referral. But we are here to help you as much as we can to make sure that you get the care that, again, you deserve. I thank you all so much for spending a few moments with me today. Again, thank you for putting those questions in the chat box. If you have any last final questions you'd like to ask so that I can answer them, I'd be more than happy to do so. I once again want to thank Mount Pleasant Baptist Church for allowing me this opportunity to come and share some community information that hopefully is going to make the community stronger and will make the community healthier, because we need as much help as we can in our communities to make sure that we are living longer and smiling with confidence all the way through. Again, please make sure that you share this information, because there are a lot of veterans who do not know about all of the benefits and the programs that are available for them. They're only going to know if you share it. I want you to be aware, and then I want you to share. Make sure you share this information with any veteran you may know. Again, I'm Dr. Lowe. You can reach us at awesomesmilesva.com, or you can reach us on our Facebook page. Another number is for you to call is 571-331-8949. We'd love to see you in our office. We'd love to help you navigate this program and be able to get all the treatment that you need to, again, make sure that you stay healthy. Your mouth is a part of your body. Always remember that. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for participating, and thank you for allowing me to be able to share this information once again. Have an amazing, blessed day.
Well, what a fantastic time here we just had. You heard two oral health specialists provide you some very good information on not only their ability to rearrange their facility and transform to keep you healthy during these COVID times, but also they gave you some great tips on the benefits of being concerned about your oral health and all that surrounded that. Two very great vendors, and so we're just so thankful for one of our own, Dr. Jones, and also you got a chance to hear from a young lady out in the Haymarket area. So now what I'd like to do is just pause for a very brief announcement. So draw close to your screens. You want to pay close attention to this. We understand that due to recent circumstances that the President-elect Biden is going to be speaking tonight at 8 o'clock. And so we are going to modify our schedule just a little bit, and we're going to ask that you watch a family movie night together with us. However, we've got a little twist in this virtual environment. We're actually going to watch that movie together and get your feedback. We're going to give you more details about it this evening. We're going to include the link, and we've got a special treat, so listen very closely. Details to come, but that is, I just wanted to prepare you for that, so be on the lookout, because sometime tonight about 7:30 is when we're going to drop the video link. All right, let's talk about where we're going from here. We want to continue on. If you've never been through something in your life, then this message may not apply to you. But one of our former members of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church is getting ready to give you a very quick testimony that talks about how to overcome and to reshape yourself. Well, she is going to talk about her trials and tribulations. And then we're going to be following that up with a very light comedic moment before we get into a couple of more family cooking. So Natasha is coming back again to cook a dinner meal for us. And then we're going to finish up and wrap up our late afternoon session with talking about how to be able to make healthy snacks. Because if you're like me, I love this snack. As a matter of fact, truth be told, my wife tells the story all the time. She said, when I'm hungry, that means I'm awake. So if I'm awake, I'm hungry, and I usually like to get a snack. So we want you to have some healthy snacks. So if you would, pay very close attention to one of our former members in this brief clip, and then we'll be followed by a comedian. But again, pay attention 7:30 tonight for the link to the family video. We've got something very special in mind for you.
Hello to my friends and family online. I wanted to take a moment and share with you a word that really ministered to me over the last few years, and it's about acting brand new. And the inspiration for it was from the woman at the well who is spoken about in Luke 4. And I don't know if you know that story, but a woman who was going about her own business, but she had an experience meeting Jesus, and he told her all about herself, so much so that she left there and she had to go and tell everybody because her life had just been changed. And in today's language, people would say she started acting brand new. Well, I want to say to you that it's never too late to change your life, to change the plot of your life story, to flip the script, to really start over. It's never too late, no matter what your past has been like, no matter what baggage you're carrying, it's never too late. If you spend time looking into the Word, not only will God reveal himself to you, but he will reveal you to you. You will learn everything about yourself if you're just willing to look deeply and pray about it. And there was a point in my life when everything that could possibly go wrong was going wrong. My finances were going crazy. My marriage was breaking apart. My career was falling apart. My health, I had back pain that was debilitating. In fact, the back pain was so bad that the only time I could get relief was when I laid prostrate on the floor. And I remember thinking at one point when I was lying down on the floor that God put me down here so I could learn how to pray. And I mean pray for real. Because I think up until that point, I never really understood what it meant to fully submit your life to Christ. And I mean, let him take control of everything, to really let go and let God, because you don't have any control in the situation. And so while I was down there, I realized that I was so low that the only thing I could do was look up. And I looked up and started praying. And instead of allowing myself to spiral into despair, I decided to praise my way through. And all of the psalms and hymns that I had learned growing up, they just bubbled up in my spirit. You know, I sang in the choir. God really blessed me to be a part of women's choir, Women of Praise. And that song is still in my spirit. I'm going to praise my way through. And I tell you, in the midst of all of that, it took a while. But as I learned how to lean on God, to trust God, to wait patiently on the Lord, I saw him change and turn my life around. I've since then gotten remarried. I have, finances are fine. I have written 3 books now, and basically those books were a way for me to share my experiences, because I really believe that everything you go through, your test becomes your testimony, and that the pain and the way that God brought me through that could help somebody. So the basis of my books was really about me sharing how God has helped me. And even in my career, nothing that I did, but somehow I ended up, my career brought me over here to Doha, Qatar. And so I couldn't even have imagined during that time what God would do in my life. And I'm truly a testimony that he will restore all that the locust has eaten. You know, he'll just change your life and turn you around, and you too can act brand new. I hope this blesses you today. Literally, it's blessed me, and I want to let you know that it's never too late to act brand new. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back comedian Michael Joyner. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. How you folks doing? Welcome to session 2 of the comedy portion. I messed with Pastor Sam a little bit at the beginning of the first one. I hope he appreciated the joke. I'm going to mess with Pastor Donaldson, who I understand is a Cowboys fan, which doesn't go over too well in D.C. on the East Coast. He's a Cowboys fan. I'm not going to mess with him. I'm just going to mess with people who have a professional team. Okay, forget that. How you folks doing? I hope you're having a good time so far at the Health Explosion, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Again, I want to thank you for having me, Sharice, everybody. So, again, this is different with the COVID, this is how we have to do comedy now a lot of times. I've done a few real gigs, but the folks are, you know, seated farther apart and everything. So I'm hoping this is working good for you guys. I think the COVID's going to be over soon. I really do. I know we're all praying. When that thing first happened, the COVID, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what it was. I was asking my friend. He goes, "Yeah, you can't touch each other." I said, "You can't touch each other? Why don't they call it the 25 years of marriage virus?" I have a feeling there's some folks who don't want to laugh at that. Anyway, so what was going on? I was at the mall the other day, and as I was standing outside, some guy was on his cell phone as I was coming out. I like pacing around people I don't know when they're on their cell phone and going, "Dude, you butt down, I gotta make a call." I got Sprint for my service. Sprint's great. You get service anywhere in the world as long as I'm going by a tree or a bush. Got that voice dial where you just say the name, right? Except it's not like on the commercial. In the commercial, it's like, "Call Bob." "Hey, Bob, what's up?" You get the phone, it's more like, "Call Bob." "Did you say Bill? Barb? Bob? Bob, did you want Bob's cell? Bob's home? Bob's cousin from Utah? Bob's cell. Did you say Bob's cell?" "Yes." "Did you say yes?" "Yes." Press 1 if you said yes. Beep. You pressed 2. Did you mean to press 2? Press 1 if you meant to press 2. It might be quicker is to call Bob yourself. Called my friend on his cell phone not too long ago. I got this message. You ever get this message? "Sorry, I'm away from my phone right now." Oh yeah, well you might want to get one of those cell phones you can take with you. They got those now. I think that's a big lie. I think the only reason not to answer your phone these days is because you don't want to talk to the person, right? And I'm honest with people. That's why if you call my phone, you get this message. "Hi, it's Mike. I have caller ID. Bye." How about this? I hate when I'm talking to somebody on the phone, they don't differentiate between our conversation and when they start talking to somebody else. I was talking to my friend the other day. I'm like, "Hey man, you coming to my show this weekend?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there. Just put those boxes right over there. Set those boxes on the porch." "Sorry, I was talking to somebody else." "I wish you would have told me. I just moved a bunch of boxes." I heard a noise out back, so that's why there's a cut in this. If in case you notice, I'm doing this in my bedroom. I heard a noise. It's a great thing about doing comedy at home. Take a 15-minute break, come back, start the camera. Anyway, that's why there was a little cut here. So what was I talking about? I was talking about, oh, you ever be driving? This happened to me the other day. I'm driving my car, and I accidentally call somebody while my phone's in my pocket. I'm driving my car here. "Mike! Mike! Mike!" I'm thinking, did I leave a dead body in the trunk again? Cell phones have made things really different than what it used to be. People lie to each other a lot now with cell phones. They found it easier to lie to people because people have no idea where you're at, right? Be like, "Hey Mike, I was wondering if you could help me move this weekend." "Oh, sorry dude, I'm in Canada." "You are?" "Yeah." "Because your car's parked right in front of your house." "It is?" "Yeah, and you're sitting in it talking on the phone." That's weird. I wish somebody would tell my poor grandma how these phone machines work, how cell phone machines work. She still leaves a message like it's on the rotary age. Remember that? Every message I get from my grandma is like, "Mikey, pick up. Pick up, Mikey. It's your grandma. I need you to help me with something. I hope you're not in Canada again." I wonder if there's any people my age here who remembers the rotary phones. Anybody remember the rotary phones? I'll pretend that there's several out there. Remember those things? Slightly faster instead of a postcard. It'd be like, get to the last number, mess up, oh, start all over. Finally, the first touch-tone phones came out, but the first touch-tone phones were expensive, so they came out with this phone that looked like a touch-tone but simulated a rotary. The heck was that? You'd be like, what? It's a touch tone. They haven't answered yet. Finally, the first cordless phones. Remember the first cordless phones? About the size of a minivan. People be in their front yard showing them off. Hey, what's up? Just talking on my phone. No cord. So I did my first cruise gig not too long. Anybody here probably been on a cruise? I'll pretend some folks raised their hand. Nobody in my bedroom's been on a cruise, just me. I did my first cruise gig a couple years ago. Real low budget thing. The SS Satanic, I think it was called. What a nightmare. First of all, we're like 3.5 hours late leaving the dock. I look out, some guy in a truck's giving us a jump. Try her now! My first night there, I accidentally flushed one of my socks down the toilet, found it the next day in the pool. Didn't do much swimming. A couple of years ago, I did my first overseas gig in Hong Kong. There's one American comedy club in Hong Kong. That was fun. Lots of Buddhists in Hong Kong. You know how I know? They had that keychain, WWBD. I'll give you guys a minute for that one. So I actually flew from Los Angeles to Hong Kong. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and there's 24-hour difference between Hong Kong and LA. Yeah, I called my house, I answered. What are you doing? Packing. Do a lot of flying with this gig. People ask me if I'm afraid to fly these days. I'm not. But I hate these really small planes they put you on whenever you have to make a connection and it isn't near a major airport. I did this one gig, connected me like 4 times. The planes just kept getting smaller and smaller. Last one didn't have a pilot, just some guy on the ground holding remote control. How is it you can learn to fly a jumbo jet, but you cannot learn to make an announcement over the PA without getting stumped? Right? Every pilot in the world does the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. I just wanted to let you know that we've landed. And I want to know whose great idea it was to always pass out the peanuts 2.5 hours before beverage service, after everybody's completely dehydrated. Would you like something to drink? Nah, just keep bringing me more peanuts. I'd like to resemble Lot's wife by the time we land. They finally get you where they give you a cup about that big. Well, thanks, we having communion? Did I get a wafer with this? So now I'm drinking shots of Pepsi. Set him up again, darling. Rounds for everybody. You hate when you ring that thing. Sometimes they don't even show up. You're like, ding. They finally get there. What? Where were you, in the basement? Yes, stewardess, can I get a pillow, please? Not a big pillow. One about the size of a chicklet will do. Thank you very much. Prefer to have to fold it 40 times. First time I saw those, I thought they were earplugs. Sticking one in each ear. I understand I'm cynical. I'm trying not to be so sarcastic with life. I'm just happy to be alive. Anybody else happy to be alive? I guess that's why we're here today. It's all about health. We want to live long. We want to live a prosperous life. So I'm happy to be alive. So many of my friends dying that I know my age. I see it on Facebook all the time. Had to go to a funeral not too long ago. Have you ever had to tell a mutual acquaintance that someone you both know died? There's always someone to go, he died? I was just talking to him yesterday. Now, you're probably talking to him before he died. Probably what happened. This friend of mine who wasn't aware my mom passed away was talking to me. He goes, hey, how's your mom? I said, well, she's with Jesus. He goes, oh, she died? No, she ran off with Jesus, her Mexican friend. I just hate dumb questions. I do. I was getting my car to go to the store not too long ago. As I left my driveway, I saw what looked like a stray dog in the middle of the road. When I came back home, the dog was still there, but then my neighbor was standing near it. So I got out of my car, I go, hey, is that your dog? He goes, no, is it yours? Yeah, it's my dog. That's why I asked if it was your dog. Thought maybe we were sharing dogs and I was unaware of it. I make fun of everybody, but I do the stupidest stuff, especially the older I get. I find myself doing just stupid stuff. Here's something I do a lot. You ever be talking and the wrong voice fluctuation comes out? Feel like a big idiot? I was in this crowded coffee shop not too long ago. My friend is yelling at me from across the room. I meant to say, "I'll come over there," but it came out, "I'll come over there." How do you cover that up? "I'll be over there with all my relatives from Holland over there, yeah. We'll be right over there." I never learned. I did the same thing with my wife the other day. She goes, "I'm making meatloaf for dinner." I meant to say awesome, but it came out, "Oh, you know I hate your meatloaf. I'll be over there sleeping on the couch over there, yeah. I'll be right over there." Oh man, give yourself one more round of applause. I don't know how many folks are in the audience. This is brand new to me. I'm actually looking at some pillows, a globe, and my desk. I hope you're more responsive than they are. No, I'm very, very grateful for this gig. This is awesome. I do hope to come there someday. Let me show you something real quick before I get into the short message. You can go to michaeljoyner.com or email me, michael@michaeljoyner.com, if you'd either like to book me for an event. But I have 3 DVDs. 2 of them are comedy. This is my comedy show, Bananas. This is the first DVD I've ever done. This is the one with, how many? 1, 2, 3, 7 Christian comedians, including Michael Jr. I'm not to be confused with Michael Jr., Michael Joyner, and Shonda Pierce. Great show. As you can see from this DVD, I autographed these. If you would like one of those, let me know. And this is my movie, The Grace Card. I'm also an actor, like I said in my own intro that I introduced myself. I've starred in over a dozen faith-based films. The Grace Card is the most popular one that came out in 2011. The most powerful film you may ever see, folks, and certainly a film that we need at this time in our nation's history. It's a beautiful story. I'm going to talk a little bit about it at the end of the next session, but you will be in tears at the end of this story. I leave my comedy chops at home for this one, and I learned what I learned in Hollywood as an actor to bring this performance alive, and I'm telling you, God showed up in this movie. It is powerful. Get the Grace Card, watch it online. Have me come to your church and show the movie, and I'll talk afterwards if you'd like. Okay, so like I was saying in the first session, we're going to break this into 3 sessions, my comedy portion, and each session I'll talk about something different. The first one I talked about the most important health is your spiritual health, and I'm sure you know that if you go to this wonderful church, okay, Pleasant Mount Baptist. Mount Pleasant Baptist, I'm sorry. But let me just encourage you to always put the Lord first, and from there, we do everything else, okay? Mental health, as you know, is directly connected to our spiritual health. Do you know many doctors say that probably 1/3 of people in hospitals are there because of their mental health? And that's including some who are there because of physical problems, because doctors believe physical problems, doubt and fear, are often brought on by mental problems. You know, the Bible says doubt and being afraid and worry is actually a sin. I think if we'd see it as a sin, we would work on it. Okay, we need to watch what we think and what we say. The Bible has a lot to say about a divided mind. Okay, here's an example. When I first got saved, I often joke with my wife how I got saved 1,000 times. What I mean is, every time I didn't feel like I was saved, or I was worried God didn't hear me, I prayed the sinner's prayer again. Until one day God finally made it very clear to me, Mike, I saved you the first time you asked me. Start living like a Christian, and you'll know that you're a Christian. So, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. Get into the Word. Because also I believe a distraught mind inevitably leads to a deteriorated body. We've got to watch what we put in our heart, which eventually goes into our mind, okay? So Mental health starts with going to the Lord. There's some great physicians, psychiatrists. There's some great people out there in the secular world, but always pray, get the Word of God into your heart, and watch what God will do. I will see you at the third and final session. Thank you very much, folks.
My name is Raquel Curtis, and I'm the CEO and founder of Be Bougie, where I teach millennial women how to budget, save, and invest their money. Now, I know it's important for you to be physically fit, but you also want to make sure you're being financially fit as well. As a banker, I'm able to study people on a daily basis. And by doing this, I have been able to not only coach myself, but others on establishing healthy financial habits when it comes to managing their money, teaching their kids how to manage their money, building credit, and also learning to invest in some of the world's largest financial markets. So, let's talk about budgeting. This is how you can create your own DIY budget buddy system. I'm giving it away for free for those of you who money is tight, but you still want to get right. #bars. Okay, so I always start my book out with a quote. And this particular quote says, "Until you decide that your bank account is done suffering the consequences of bad financial decisions, nothing will change." Basically, until you decide you're tired of being broke, you're still going to be broke. We're going to fix that. Right after I'm charged up and feeling good about my money and being responsible, I go ahead and I knock out my bills. So I list my account username and passcodes on this page. Why? Because I have a preteen who I'm teaching to be responsible about money. So what better way to have her be responsible than to have her pay the bills, even though they're still coming out of my account. But this way she's getting a real world example of how to be responsible, and it's really helpful. She's just getting so smart. This form right here, guys, comes with a one-on-one session with me where we create a tailored budget for you, whether you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. We sit down, comb through, and create the best course of action for you to be able to pay your bills, save money, and invest. If you're interested in scheduling an appointment with me, reach down to the contact information below, and I'll be so happy to get to know you and get you on the right track. Let's talk about gas, baby. Let's talk about spending cheese. Where I find most of my lost money is in my gas money. I allocate a budget for everything, and I put the date, the amount that I spent on gas, and I subtract it from the available balance that I gave myself when I started my 2 weeks out. So every 2 weeks, I give myself $160 to spend on gas, and then I subtract the amount that I spent from my balance, and that overall will give me a total after my 2 weeks are up. If I'm in the positive balance, I can go ahead and throw that into savings, or I can split it between my free spending and my savings. And if I'm in the negative amount, then I need to see what adjustments need to be made. The spending tracker. Okay, so the spending tracker, you guys, is hands down where you will find where all your money's going. So I keep this myself, and all I'm doing is keeping track of where my money's going. The whole purpose of budgeting is not to live life like you don't have any money. It's to still enjoy life, but to enjoy life within a means that you can still grow financially. So how I budget my money when it's time for me to spend my free money is every time that I go out and I'm ready to buy a cup of coffee or get a different type of lunch, I put down the date, where I purchased the item, the amount, and the reason that I did it. I make myself think about my purchase. Just because I want to do it doesn't mean that I should do it. And if it's not going to fit within my budget, then I definitely need to reconsider, because putting myself within a certain constraint allows me to think about how I'm spending my money better. Not only do I write down what I'm spending my free money on, I also keep the receipts. I keep the receipts because I do have a shopper's bug. I do like to shop, and sometimes I bring the items home and I'm just like, oh, I really didn't need this, and I take it back and I do I do that more than what I should, but it's helpful to have the receipts on hand because they're like a little diary of where all your money went. So if you ever wonder why you're broke, hold on to your receipts, and it's a book of why. The last thing that I do is I comb through my bank statements. I print them out every 2 weeks and I comb through them. By combing through them, I'm checking to make sure if I'm staying on track with my budget system that I've created. I need to know, am I overpaying on my bills? Did I pay too much? Did I pay too little? I'm checking it. So the very first thing that I do is I label every single purchase within my statement. Then I add up all of my expenses within those 2 weeks. After adding them, I put that number at the top of my paper. Then I go back and I add up all my sources of income. You guys know that I do more than just work, so I have multiple streams of income. I add all of those up to give me a total of my income. And then once I have that total, I subtract my income from my expenses. And that will give me a grand total, and it will let me know, okay, Raquel, these 2 weeks you've overspent, or these 2 weeks you did really good. Now you can allocate some money towards your savings, or you can split it with your free spending and your savings, or you can splurge a little now because you've already put money in savings, you already put your money in your investment account, and now you have this additional money left over. So when I do my statements, I just find myself being so proud. Like when I first started, you guys, I was overspending like crazy. And then after just repetition and being consistent with this, I feel like it's like a game almost, like I'm trying to beat myself. And I don't know, I get so nerdy about it. So always analyze yourself. Ask yourself, how did you fare? How did you fare in the 2 weeks or in the week before your next pay period? How did you fare with your money? And then after you do that, ask yourself what can be done differently.
Budgeting in itself is not difficult, right? Like everyone can say, all right, I know I'm spending too much money on this particular thing, so I probably should dial back. I know I'm going out to eat too much, so I probably should dial back. I know I'm shopping too much, so I probably should dial back, right? So identifying what you make and where it needs to go, that's not the hard part. Anyone can say, I'm going to establish a budget because I'm tired of my account looking like X, Y, and Z. Or I'm going to establish a budget because I'm tired of not knowing where my money is going, right? The hard part about budgeting is sticking to it. The hard part about being physically fit and being healthy and having healthy eating habits is sticking to it. It's not starting it. Much like budgeting, it's not starting your budget that's hard. It's sticking to your budget that's difficult. So when it comes to budgeting, the main thing is creating a strict level of discipline when it comes to your money. Now, how I coach my clients and when I speak at events about budgeting is I simply say, listen, stop giving yourself goals that you don't even believe that you can obtain. You always want to have a bigger picture, but you don't want that bigger picture to be your end all. You want to break that goal down to, okay, I'm establishing a budget. Why? What is the end goal for this budget? Okay, perfect. A year from now, I would like to have X amount of dollars into my savings account, or I would like to pay for this trip, or my daughter's going to college and I would like to do, these things with that. So from that year goal, you need to break it down into 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, right? You want to break it down into 2 weeks, and you want to break it down to 72 hours and 24 hours. So you might say like, okay, why would I break that down so low? Well, having the budget in your mind isn't going to help you. You're going to have to write that down. You're going to have to create the actual game plan. So within the first 24 hours of you telling yourself, I need to manage my money a little better, you need to sit down and write out your expenses. You need to sit down and print out your bank statements and go through and highlight and identify where your money is going. Once you can identify the things that are your needs versus your wants within your statements, then you can really pick at it and say, I didn't really need to spend my money on that. I could have put my money towards this. I could have placed my money in savings. This could have went towards my child's education. This could have went towards paying down debt. What I find when it comes to budgeting is mostly that we tell ourselves we can't afford something, and oftentimes it's not that we can afford it, it's that we're mismanaging our money, and mismanaging our money makes us unable to afford something. So if you want to go back to school and you're like, I can't afford it, you may just be mismanaging your money. If you want that grand trip, you may just be mismanaging your money. On average, I can help my clients find around an additional $500 to $1,000 a month that they're spending in miscellaneous places. So when it comes to budgeting, make sure you're printing out those statements. Make sure you're going through identifying what were your needs versus your wants in those statements. Make sure that you have a clear goal. What is the reason why you want to establish a budget? What is the thing that you're saving up for, right? Where is it that you're trying to go? What debt is it that you're trying to pay off immediately? Okay. And once you have that identified, then move forward. So when it comes to saving, people have all these challenges and all these games and all these things to try to make saving fun. But the bottom line is, people, the bottom line is you can save $5,000 in 1 year if you are able to put away an additional $193 every 2 weeks. Now, this is for a single person. Now, if you have a 2-person earning household, now if each of you put away $96 every 2 weeks into that joint savings account, you now have a combined total of $5,000 in 1 year. Now, let me tell you why this is so critical. Because the average American household, over the average American household does not even have $1,000 in their savings account. So if you're able to discipline yourself enough to have $5,000 locked away in savings, you are doing better than over 73% of the average American household. Now, this paper right here allows you to put the actual amount that you invest into your savings account versus your planned amount. And then it has a checkpoint that allows you to add up the totals over a 6-month period of what you put towards your savings account and compare it to your planned amount. This way you're able to see, okay, am I beating my plan, or do I need to be a little bit more disciplined in order to hit my target goal? Now, what I like about this is just for a 1-income earning household. If you have a 2-income earning household, that means
if you take $193 and you divide it by 2 persons, that means that every 2 weeks, only $96.50 will need to come from each party.
What I really like about this is people think that obtaining $5,000 in a year is so difficult to do. Now, I know some of you can look at the shoes on your feet. I know some of you can look at the purses in your closet and you can tell me that you could put away $193 or $96 every 2 weeks. Moving right along. We talked about budgeting. We talked about saving. Let's talk about investing. My favorite topic, actually, between budgeting and investing is investing. I love talking about investing because investing gives you the ability to grow your money. Most of us trade our time and our energy for money, but investing is putting your money to work. Investing is allowing your money to spend its time and its digital energy and grow upon itself. Now, most people say, okay, well, I think I'm doing fairly good. You know, I've got my 401k, I've got my high interest yield savings account. I think I'm doing pretty good. Well, and that may be true. And if you do have those things, congratulations, good job. That is very honorable. Those are things that you're supposed to do. However, if you want to talk about investing, let's really talk about investing.
I think to move higher, we're going to have to see some other catalysts. And I have been saying all along, you have to write off 2020.
And that we're not going to get a fully open economy until there's a vaccine, which he said from start to finish is 18 months. And
having a 401k is essentially like having your mutual funds account, right? And the company that you work for is probably going to match it up to some percent. You want to make sure that you're maximizing on that percent because that 401k is going to work towards your retirement. So most of you already know that. Let's move along. Now, your high yield savings account. Because of the economy, the annual percentage yield on your savings account is probably not that great right now. Actually, I have a YouTube video on investing that has almost 7,000 views. I'm so proud of it. It is my heart. It is my baby. And so when the pandemic hit, I gave some great financial advice as to a few stocks that everyone should look to invest in. Now, the market right now is at a pretty low point, so if you want to check out that video, it is on YouTube at the Be Bougie channel, and it is the video called Investing 101. However, there are other forms to invest as well.
Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until the day you die. Now let's learn about the types of investments.
You got your stocks, your bonds, your ETFs, your real estate, your cash equivalents, your commodities, and your currencies. You got yourself a whole holster of money makers.
Take a screenshot or jot these notes down. Here are your simple ways for remembering the different types of investments. Stocks are owning part of a company. Bonds are purchased debts, to where the investor purchased the debts of the government to be paid back with interest. An ETF is your blended stocks, like your mutual funds. It's basically like your stocks had little babies and you're invested in all of them equally because you just love them so much. Real estate is rented or sold land or property. Cash negotiables would be like your checks or your promissory notes. Commodities would be things that are traded for cash value, like gold, silver, or crops. And then you have currencies, like the exchange of currencies based off of their value.
You have all these ways to invest. So we talked about budgeting, we talked about saving, we talked about investing. The one thing that I will say about investing, however, is please be very mindful. A lot of people will jump into programs like Acorns and Robinhood because they're novice to investing. They don't really know about it. So they're like, okay, well, I'll just get my feet wet and learn about it. It is good that you want to learn about investing. However, there are better forms to invest with. Anyone who I coach, I definitely tell them, please do not use Robinhood. Please do not use Acorn. If you can avoid it, you want to go ahead and go to your primary banking institution and ask them for an advisory-free investment account. This means that you're able to use what you want to use and invest in stocks, but you're using large financial institutions to do so, and not something like Robinhood, who honestly, when things like these huge fluctuations in these markets happened, bottomed out a lot of people's stocks. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Just always remember, please always remember, it is super important to be physically fit, but it's more important to be financially fit, because you want to make sure that even though you're living your best healthy life, you want to make sure that you're able to enjoy it and travel and afford to, create generational wealth. So you guys, you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. And please remember, be bold, be beautiful, be bougie. Bye.
Don't forget to head on over to the Be Bougie shop and purchase your mug or your t-shirt. You guys, we also have some great programs there as well. And I'm available to speak to small group audiences via Zoom, whether it be internationally or nationally. I just did a conference with a group of young adults in London. It was phenomenal. Don't forget, we've got a bunch of free resources on the resource vault at bebougie.com. Last month, I released Rich Dad Poor Dad as a free PDF. This month, I'll be releasing Millionaire Success Habits. So get them out to your teens, young adults, and mom and dad. You guys read them as well. You guys have a wonderful, fantastic weekend, and thank you so much for having me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Blissful Brooke, and today I'm starting a new segment for my channel called Cook with Brooke. The reason I started the segment for my channel is because I know a lot of you guys in quarantine are just bored and not really eating healthy meals, mostly snacking all the time. Like, I was snacking a lot, but hopefully this segment on our channel helps us out a little bit. And we're going to be making some fun snacks. We're probably going to do this like around once a month, and I'm really excited. Also, today for this first episode of Cook with Brooke, I have a very special guest. My mom! Yay!
Hi everybody.
So, my mom is here and we are going to be making a really good snack, but I don't want to tell them until after the intro. So keep watching and you're going to figure out what we're going to make. Let's get right into the video. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Seasons have changed us to remain with thoughts of you. And I'm just not the same, I admit, like all.
Okay, so the first thing you guys are gonna do for the snack, this really fun, healthy snack, is gonna get the ingredients out because
actually the first thing we gotta do is wash our hands before
yes,
we start cooking.
We're definitely gonna need to wash our hands.
Let's do that.
Also, if you can't tell, we're twinning.
And this is not my fault. Brooklyn picked this out. I wasn't her mom making her match outfits. She actually coordinated our wardrobe today.
That was me.
All right.
So, washing hands, it's going to be 20 seconds, warm water with soap. That's the rule. Oh, and one of the most common spots to wash your hands is going to be the connecting drain yourself. So, the key is you want to wash your hands before you cook, so that way the people who are eating the food have clean food. You know, try to keep the kitchen clean too. Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Okay, so we're gonna need to talk about ingredients now. What you're gonna need, I'm gonna insert like pictures down here or down here, up here, somewhere, but you're gonna see them. A lot of ingredients, you ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna need a half cup of almond butter, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond milk, another 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna need a 1/4 cup of vanilla protein powder, and last but not least, a half cup of oat flour. Now, if you don't have oat flour, that's totally fine. We also don't have oat flour, so we're gonna show you a really quick and easy way to make your own oat flour right now.
So to make your own oat flour, you just need 2/3 cups of regular rolled oats, and you're going to put it in a food processor. Brooklyn, you want to put that in?
Yep.
Great.
ASMR.
Then you're going to close the lid and press start.
Or grind. Chop and grind.
And that's it. Started with oats.
It smells.
And now we're here. All right. So the recipe says that we need 1/2 cup of oat flour.
Yes.
So you're just gonna take a cup of half a cup.
Also
of your oat flour, like so, and just pour it in.
Also, if you don't have oat flour, that is fine. Or oats, you can just use almond flour.
Or coconut flour.
Or coconut flour.
Also, make sure that you don't use regular flour or whole wheat flour because it will make the protein balls too doughy.
Too doughy.
It'll taste gross. Don't do that.
So now that you have all of your ingredients good and ready to go, we are going to start making the cookie dough protein bites. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Brooklyn.
I'm so ready. This is going to be so good. So the first thing you're going to need to do is in a medium bowl, mix the 1/2 cup of oat flour. This is so satisfying, guys. Make sure you get all of that oat flour out because some might have stuck to the bowl.
That's what spatulas are for.
Oh, right. Spatulas. Just to make sure everything gets out. You're also going to mix in this bowl the 1/2 cup of vanilla protein powder. Camera isn't going to focus, but we also have pictures, so you're going to get to see it. All that gets in there using the spatula. And you're going to use the 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
So Brooklyn, another thing to know about baking or making stuff is most recipes ask you to mix the dry ingredients first and then mix the wet ingredients separately and then combine them.
Yeah, any baking Netflix show I've seen like Nailed It or Sugar Rush, always, most of the time they go, well, actually this doesn't have eggs in it, which is good because you shouldn't eat raw eggs, but you have the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients and then you mix them together.
Yeah, perfect.
So now that we have this is the bowl. We have our vanilla protein powder, our oat flour, and our salt. We're not going to mix that just yet because then...
I'll start whisking these.
So we'll start whisking those. And then in a different bowl, we have 2 spatulas. In a different bowl, we are going to mix the 1/2 cup of almond butter. Oh, look at that. Oh, I got some on my fingers. Good thing my hands are clean. Oh, look at that. We're gonna we're gonna need to scrape that out some. So we have that, and I'm gonna get a paper towel to wipe my hands. After you mix the 1/2 cup of almond butter, you're going to mix the how much? 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Wow, that is interesting.
Question, did you use maple syrup or like Mrs. Butterworth syrup?
Like actual maple syrup.
Yes, good.
So
you use real maple syrup
yeah.
for this recipe.
What do you like about this recipe?
I really like this recipe, Brooklyn, because this is something I think is great for kids. It doesn't require an oven or a stove. There's no heat involved, so it's safe to make.
Yeah.
It's healthy to make, and the whole family can enjoy it. Yeah, and it's easy.
And it's like quarantining at home, but it's kind of like eating like you're going to the gym. You know?
Yeah, it gives you some good protein.
Yeah.
About 3 grams of protein per bite.
Yeah, and it's like 15-minute cookies. About.
Yeah, it makes about 15 cookies.
So this is what the almond butter maple syrup mix looks like. And now we're gonna mix this together until it's completely like combined and just stirred well together. Just gonna stir that.
Looks good, Brooklyn.
Okay, so now that we have almond butter, maple syrup mix, or combo, we are going to put this almond butter maple syrup bowl into the dry bowl with our oat flour, vanilla protein powder, and salt.
Alright.
So, would you like to do the honors?
Sure.
I'll just... Looks good.
Notice how I scrape all the sides.
Oh, look at that.
Bam. Professional. Can you hand me the other spatula, Brooklyn?
Yes, which is why we have 2.
Please. Yeah, so I'm just going to use this other spatula to scrape the rest of the nut butter and maple syrup off.
Every last
drop. Okay.
All right. Okay. So now that we have all of this together, it looks really it looks good, even though it's still like raw and everything. We're gonna whisk this whole thing together until the whole thing is fully combined, like the almond butter and the maple syrup combo. So I'm just gonna. Oh, look at that. If it looks a little doughy like this, you can always add a little bit of almond milk, add as much as you need, like about a tablespoon at a time. Okay, so now that the wet and the dry ingredients were mixed together,
I'm gonna start folding.
Yes. Mom's gonna start folding that. I'm gonna put this whisk in that bowl, and also we have our almond milk. So at this point, we're just gonna start mixing this in tablespoon by tablespoon. My favorite part, which is the 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips. At this point, we're just gonna pour the whole thing in here. Oh, no, not gonna miss a single chocolate chip. We are going to stir this up. We're gonna like fold the dough over it, you know.
And Mom says you need a little more chocolate.
Yeah. I actually think this is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
One for me. Cheers.
That was pretty violent. Okay, so we're gonna take a spoonful of the dough now. And I'm just gonna ball this up and roll it into, like, you know, a cookie shape. And put it on your paper. It's taste test time.
It is taste test time.
I'm excited.
So you can eat these right away
Or put them in the fridge for up to 2 days.
2 days.
No more than 2 days.
But these are really good, so they're not going to last 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
There's more. Okay, guys, that was the video. I really hoped you liked it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And
We got the recipe from a website called thugkitchen.com.
I'll link down below in the description. So you can go into their site and check out their other recipes because they have really cool recipes. Like this video and you tried the recipe, don't forget to email me at blissfulbrooks08@gmail.com and tell me what you thought of it. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. These are for your bloopers.
I know.
Our chips.
Dang it. Okay, we'll cut that out.
Just start with the ingredients. Okay,
No, I don't-
take 2. Take 2.
What? Cook with Brooke, episode 1.
Okay, I'm still eating out peanut butter. Take 3.
This is the end. This is not what I'm saying.
Recipe, and you liked it. All right, well, come on. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Alright, this is 10 minutes.
It's fine.
I know. Take 3. Also, if you did like, what are you doing?
We have another great afternoon of a lot of power-packed information. And of course, we always appreciate bloopers. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just want to wait till the trailer just to see the bloopers because they're always entertaining. So we have a quick announcement. We're getting ready to close out for this evening. We'll be opening back up at 6:30. Want to give you a chance to enjoy your evening. But let me just share with you, at 7:30 tonight, we're going to drop a link for a family movie we are asking you to watch. We want to everyone to watch together and with your family, and then take a photo or a short video showing your family watching the movie, and then send that into mpbcsee@gmail.com. That's mpbcsee@gmail.com. You may be thinking, so why would I do this? Well, here you go. We are going to have a gift card for the family of the most creative video or photo that is taken. So we look forward to seeing your entries. The movie link will be dropped at 7:30 to our evening session. So we're getting ready to wind down now, but most importantly, I don't know if you happen to be watching The Comedian, and I can't imagine doing comedy when there's no audience and you can't hear the audience. But towards the end of his discussion, he talked about something that was very germane and very important to all that we're doing here in this session throughout the weekend. And that is, he talked about his salvation. He talked about the importance of knowing that there was value in giving your life to Christ. And so you may be watching this, and you may have never had somebody ask you this very simple question. If you were to die today, where would you spend eternity? I'd like to take this time to just invite you to, if you have never accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You know, the Jesus we're talking about, he came down, he was born, he was raised, born of a virgin, raised, walked this earth, and then was hung on the cross and died. But on the third day, he got up with all power in his hands to die and shed his blood for the salvation of our sins. And so if you can believe that, and you want to receive salvation, it's just simply as saying, I believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross. I believe that he died for my sins, no matter how bad they are. But more importantly, I don't have to do anything to prepare for it. I just have to be willing to say it and believe it in my heart and spend eternity with him in heaven. So if that's you, I'd like for you to go ahead and just type something in the chat box. Or you don't even have to do anything. You could just simply say this little prayer with me and know that there is salvation. But we would love to talk to you. So if you would like to have a conversation with one of our ministers or to explore more what that means, don't hesitate to go out to our website, hit the contact me button in a personal message, and we will get back in touch with you. We've got ministers that are actually in the chat right now. If you want to leave some information or just say, hey, look, I'm trying to get a better understanding of what this is all about. But would you say this prayer with me? Father, I want to thank you for hearing this message. Father, I never have accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. But on this day, Father, I acknowledge that your son Jesus was brought to this earth and he shed his blood for my sins and all the sins of the world. And so, Father, right now I'm professing that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior and that he was risen on the third day and sits at your right hand. And if you've said this prayer, you have received salvation, and you'll be spending that great eternity in heaven with all of us. And so we thank you for this afternoon. We thank you for sharing with us. But more importantly, if you've made that confession, get in touch with somebody that does understand if you're not able to reach out to us so that they can further help you along your journey, because it's just the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful experience that only those who make that decision receive, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So again, we hope you enjoyed this whole afternoon. We're coming to you right now with an hour pause, and we're going to be coming back tonight very briefly just for a couple of really neat segments, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of fun, setting you up for that family movie. So remember, again, be online at 7:30 when we drop the link in. We're going to look forward to your videos, showing your family watching the movie, and then when you send that in to mpbcsee@gmail.com, we're going to select a winner, and we're going to get that winner will get a free gift. It'll be a meal, family meal that you can enjoy. So we thank you so much. Enjoy your time off, and we will see you back here at 6:30. God bless you.